Alright, TK's taking too long. Just go live anyway. You'll be here in a minute. What are you saying, DCF? You good? Let me get set up. TK will join the chat in a minute, but we're doing Chelsea transfer review. Should have a few people joining us. Let me send out the messages quickly. Let's get it out. TK's going to just message me now. Going to be here in 2 minutes. And we'll get going. Just sending these messages out. And sending a tweet. We've got the England game on as well. I picked the wrong game to fucking stream. If I'd have streamed this game, it'd have been more enjoyable. The one on Saturday, mate, could not be bothered to stream that, man. I wanted to come off of that stream. That's how bad it was. It was so boring. But I'll wait for TK, then we'll get this going. We might have Ebbs in here as well. Got the England game up as well. All the Cobham boys showing up. Rice, Madueke. Made in Cobham. You know how we do. He's looking crisp. Yeah, normally wear the hat, don't I? It's actually a bit long. So that's why I normally put the hat on. What are you saying anyway, DCF? You good? TK will be here in a minute, but if you're tuning in, welcome back to Jimmy Case TV and a case of the Blues. Talk about everything Chelsea and football related. Now it's been over a week or so since the transfer window shut, so I thought I'd jump on, get a couple Chelsea boys on, and we'll do a review of the transfer window. It hasn't worked out that way. It's only going to be me and TK at the moment. Everyone's busy. Everyone's got life. So I've been trying to do this over the last week or so. So I've been struggling my end to get on. Otherwise, I would have done it last week. So we are going to do a review. I'm going to wait for TK before we kick it off. Yeah, we'll leave that up there. Man, I sent him the link about 15 minutes ago. More than that, 20 minutes. No, yeah. 15 minutes ago, I sent him the link. Still late. If you're watching this England game, we're looking a little bit better because I was a little bit worried about Tuchel and what he was doing to this. Ooh, that was good there from Mark Gahey. There we go. TK's in the build.
What's happening?
Are you added on? Hold on a minute. There we go.
Here he is.
What are you saying?
What's happening? Huh?
Where are you? In a living room?
No, in the study.
Ah, in the East Wing.
East Wing, yeah.
Have you got me on as well? In the background?
Oh, is it echoing?
Yeah.
Who's DCF?
DCF.
Oh, he was the Felix fan, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, how do I? Oh, you know what? I think it's this. It's all my dad's studio equipment. Turn that off.
I think you can echo cancel.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's done. What are you saying anyway? Now you're muted. I mute it on the thing. You're muted on the StreamYard. Let me see if I can unmute you.
That's it.
There you go.
We good?
Yeah, you're good. No echo.
Nothing. Just put the kids to bed. All of that. So yeah.
Finally got you back on, yeah.
That's it, mate. I'm back.
Are you watching this England game as well?
I was watching it. I was just about to get it up on my phone, but I've just been trying to sort out this stream because
I'll tell you what, I streamed the wrong one at the weekend. This one's much better.
Yeah,
the game at the weekend was so shit I wanted to come offline.
The quality was just poor, wasn't it?
I
just across the pitch, it was just terrible.
We were missing. When you think about it, missing quite a lot of players though. Bellingham,
definitely.
Palmer, Saka.
Yeah, no, I agree. But you know, like when you're playing Andorra, you just expect the quality to be a bit better, and it just I thought it was poor, to be honest. Like, just obviously
Couldn't create anything. It was so
No,
shit.
like we dominated the ball and whatever else. But I just thought the quality weren't great in the fight, especially in the final third. I just thought like our passing was lacking. Just, even in the middle, even in the middle of the pitch, I thought it was quite poor. A bit, just.
I don't know what Declan Rice is on, but every opportunity he's getting, he's having a shot. Like rollers as well.
It's a joke.
Idiot. Anyway, I've already done the introductions, what we're doing today. Chelsea transfer review. Ebbs might jump on in a bit. He said he was 50-50. I don't know what the other guys are doing, whether they're jumping on or not. Let me just see if they said anything in the chat. No, they haven't. They bottled it already after we've been having debates all week. After we've had debates all week about our transfer window.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've been trying to get on for a week now, so we'll see what happens anyway. But from my understanding, I think we've got a little bit of a different view on how our transfer window went. I mean, for me, I'm not overly impressed with it. I'm not. I think I'm a little bit in the middle with my opinions on this transfer window, because I just think we could have done a lot better than what we could have done. And I think from reading the group chat that we're in, I think you sit more on the side of, well, this is where we are, and what we've done for where we are is quite good.
Yeah. So
we'll get into that. So first of all, one thing I'm going to say is I think when we discuss the transfer window, obviously, I don't know if you've seen any reaction online from other Chelsea fans, especially when that window. Let me get this out of my ear because I can't concentrate. One second. Listening to the fucking England game in my ear at the same time. But when now it's so fucking loud.
There's a certain amount of fans to one side.
Mute you cunt. There you go. Yeah, so I don't know if you saw the reaction straight away when that window closed. For me, the reaction that I saw online was a lot of Chelsea fans weren't happy, which I found quite, what's the word? Spoilt, if I'm honest with you, from a lot of Chelsea fans. It's not like we haven't invested money. It's not like we haven't done a lot of business. When you look at how many players have come in and how many have gone out, we've actually done a lot of business this window. Here we go. Ebbs is in the building.
How you doing?
What are we saying?
Yeah,
his Chelsea hat, everything.
Yeah, man. Had to get in there.
Ebbs, another season ticket holder.
Die hard.
Now, what I was saying, Ebbs, is I think I sit in the middle in this transfer window on how we ended it, in terms of I feel like we could have done better with what we done, but at the end of the day, I still kind of feel like it's not the end of the world, and I kind of feel like we've done good and bad, if it makes sense. TK, I think, sits on the side where he sits and he says, "Well, this is where we are, and for what we've done, for where we are, we've actually done quite well." And I think you kind of lean there as well, if I'm right in saying that, when we're looking at the debate that we've had in the chat that we've been having.
Yeah.
I wanted the other guys to jump on. I don't know if you can message and try and get them on, because
I'll try and get Gabriel on, because I think he's very, very left wing. But for me personally, I'm content with it. I think I'm leaning towards more good on the basis, I think overall, if we look at where we finished last season and how the season went, we had a pretty good season for the squad we had, right?
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, all of the players, they're a year older. They've gelled together a year longer, and we've had one or two additions, which is strengthened the squad. So just to say wholesomely, overall, I'd say a solid 7 out of 10. Maybe pushing more. If we can get a couple more out the door, it might even be better. But we've only got a couple of days till Turkey closes their window. So we'll see.
Is that what we're waiting on? Just Turkey now? And Saudi closed?
I think Saudi's still open as well, but I know Turkey's Thursday. So yeah, hopefully we can get some deals done.
Solid 7 as well, yeah?
Yeah, I'm happy. Like Ed was saying, everyone keeps forgetting how young our squad is. So every year they're gaining in the Premier League. It's effectively half a transfer signing. Like, it's half a signing because of the young, like the the inexperience they've got in this league. Every game, every season they play in this league, it's another step to where we need to be.
In terms of, I get what you're saying. In terms of playing together.
Yes, playing together and things like that. Like we had the youngest squad ever in the Premier League ever last season. We got top 4. How mad that is. That's people can say, oh, look how much money we've spent, this, that, and the other, and that's bullshit. That's like, I'm not having it. I'm not having that.
See, sometimes I lead with that as well. I think we spent 1.7 billion, yeah?
Yeah.
You could have gone out, spent 80 million on 11 players, put them all on 300k a week, and you could have had your star. You could have your Galacticos.
Yeah, you could, but you ain't.
But at the same time,
but
at the same time, I look at what
PSR
and Bowley are trying to do, and it's a sustainable, value-holding players that can. Even if it doesn't work out, it's very low risk because we can still sell them on for quite high money. Bit like Noni Madueke, we made a profit on him. That was ridiculous. Arsenal come and sign our players every single week if you want.
No, did we double up on it near enough?
I think I've got it here. We ended up making on him
because then we signed him for 35, and
I think it was 29 mil we got him for 29.
Yeah, well there you go.
See, mine's in euros. We signed him for 35 million euros.
Yeah,
and sold him for 50. Where is it? 56 million euros. So not doubled up, but we done enough. Do you know what I mean? Made a decent amount of profit on him. But as I was saying before Ebbs jumped on, the reaction that I got from Chelsea fans when it did shut was that I thought they were quite spoiled and negative, if I'm honest with you. A lot of fans hadn't used it as an opportunity to, you get loads of fans online that use it as an opportunity to moan for the sake of moaning.
I don't think it's a case of just for moaning. Like I do genuinely get what people are saying. You get what, like, I understand that people are saying, oh, like, we've spent all this money, why couldn't we go out and spend this on that and this on that? I get that, yeah. But for now, I think we have to trust in the owners, what they're setting out to do. Do you get what I mean? Like, first season they've come in, we finished, what was it, 12th? First season? It was there.
Where did we finish?
Yeah.
12th, wasn't it?
12th.
Yeah. 12th.
So we finished 12th. Next season we finished 6th. This season we just finished 4th. So as much as we shouldn't be finishing 12th, nowhere in a million years. But I'll give them that grace period of they needed us a year to bed themselves, settle into the club.
They messed up that first season. There's no doubt about it.
It was effectively a free hit, not a free hit, so to speak, yeah. But they needed to find their feet in the Premier League. At the end of the day, they're used to being in baseball and whatever other sports they're in America. The setup over there is completely different in terms of there's no promotion, there's no relegation. You have to duck and dive to sort of negotiate for players and whatever else. In football, it is completely different to anything they've got over in America.
But I was saying in the group chat when I was speaking to that Arsenal player, I'm not going to say his name, but he told me that when Sterling had told him that when Bowley signed him, they didn't know that they didn't have to pay his original contract off the City. So when he signed, they paid his whole contract out, then gave him a sign-on fee, and then gave him his wages.
So there you go. So
which is insane.
One example of their inexperience in the Premier League, yeah. So I give them that grace period. At the end of the day, I was fuming. When I looked at that table every week. We're struggling, whatever. But next season, the season after that, under Poch, there was a big improvement, especially the back end of that season. And then this season, it's just gone another improvement, and our squad's progressively getting better. So I can't complain with the model that they're approaching with at the minute. I genuinely can't. And
I have to agree.
Until we like stop progressing, then that's when I'll start saying,
I think we're on the same wavelength in that regard, because I've spent like the last season being a bit up and down on what they're doing and not trusting what they're doing, thinking what they're doing is all wrong. But in the end,
I get why you don't trust it. I can see why you don't trust it. But
you know what? I've actually sat down and I've gone through every single signing and sale that this club have made since they've taken over. We're progressively starting to make money, even though it looks like we've spent 1.7 billion. Yeah, I've actually valued the whole club. Now I've taken all of. I'm going to do another stream on this later on where I go into depth on this. But if I round it up, I've taken all of the values of the transfer market and then I've done my own value. Now my own value has been more realistic compared to transfer markets. For example, I valued Noni Madueke higher than what they did, and we sold him and made profit for more than what I valued him at.
Yeah.
So transfer market, which is normally quite a reliable source, have us only minus 261 million euros, in euros. So it's what, less in pounds, isn't it? Or is it more? No, it's less in pounds.
Since the takeover.
Since the takeover. So we've spent 1.7 billion, but if you take the whole squad value, they've got us at a negative of 261 million. When you look at how I worked it out, I've got us positive 371 million. Because they've obviously lowered all the players' values. But when you actually look at who they've sold, the money that they've made off of these players, and the current squad value, I've got us up. Well, the transfer market have got us down. But I'll do another stream on that and I'll go into depth.
See, this is what I don't understand about transfer market, yeah? Because I see it the other day, yeah? Caicedo's, we signed Caicedo for what was it,
116 million euros, yeah?
Euros, all right, okay. What's his market value on there now?
What he's saying, Gabriel, you good?
Yes.
Oh, good, man. How you guys
He's
doing?
about to cause a storm, watch.
It's not very often I'm the voice of reason, but I've got to come in and add some balance to this discussion, man.
England just scored. Madueke again. Oh no, Gay. Just tapped it in.
Yeah.
Another Cobham made. All the Cobham boys are scoring and assisting today. Rice, Madueke, Gay, Petrovic is getting absolutely pelted.
Yeah, as expected. Didn't want him back. No, but to add to the point you lot were saying before, like I think this new model is working very well. You know, at the beginning, I was with certain people saying, you know, it's a bit hazy with it, but when you actually deep what we've done, what we've actually deep what we've done in terms of the buying and selling players, no other club is doing it, and it's allowing us to spend money freely. If you look at the other clubs, you know, like the likes of Newcastle and stuff like that, they're struggling to actually buy players. And just to go on top of that, if, like you said earlier, in terms of like buying 11 players that are worth a certain amount, top players, for one, football doesn't always work like that. You can buy the best players and they may not work, as you've seen in the cases of Paris Saint-Germain's back in the days, etc., etc. But on top of that, we could have ended up like Man United, you know, bagging these players on high wages and they're absolutely shit. And look what's happening to United at the moment. They've got so many players that are on 200-300k plus. They can't flog them, and they're just there taking up numbers. So I'm quite happy with the model. Don't get me wrong; it's not flawless. I think the only thing I would say is maybe there's two positions that we could have done better. Maybe the goalkeeper. I still think Sanchez is going into his prime, so maybe we can give him another season and see what he does, and then we ultimately replace him after that. And I think on the left wing, potentially we could have got somebody better. I don't know who that player is at the moment, so that's up for the scouts to judge. But I think they've got two players around the same level. Maybe if we could have got someone a bit more experienced on the left wing, that would have made our window, you know, a 9 out of 10. But I'm really happy with the business.
No, I agree. What do you reckon, Gabriel? No, because you caused a bit of a storm in that chat. In our little group chat. It all stems from you, really.
Honestly, I can't believe what I'm hearing from Blue Tinted. Like, what is working about the model? Here is the thing: a model is supposed to serve the objective of the club, right? The objective of our club, and I don't care who's in charge. Could be Roman, could be me. The objective of our club is to compete for the highest trophies, and we are far away from that. We're 4 years into it now. So we can't say the model's working. You can't say the model's working where we spent 200 million on left wingers and Garnacho is potentially our best left winger.
You can't put Mudryk
working.
in there. You can't put Mudryk in there. That's he's
Okay,
banned.
he's
to remove
banned.
that.
But even if he was playing, he's still shit. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he's good. It's not like he's good. You know what I mean? You can't say the model's working when you still have Rob Sanchez in goal. You can't say the model's working where you're one injury away from Mark Gue having to play significant games for us, which is probably what's going to have to happen now. We're not in the Conference League anymore. We're going into Champions League campaign, and Mark Gue is our rotation up front. So no, I don't think the model is working at all. Don't get me wrong. This is the best window Blueco have had up until now. So I appreciate the improvement. And I know I can see why there's enthusiasm because we've won the Club World Cup. Everyone's on a little bit of a high. We've got the gold badge, etc. But ultimately, if you look at it objectively, the aim of a window is by the end of that window, you should look at your squad and feel it's significantly better in terms of hitting your objectives than the last year. And I don't think it is. I think we're going to end up in about the same place that we were last year. I love João Pedro and how we started, but let's be honest, Nicholas Jackson started like this the beginning of last year as well. There isn't a pedigree for João Pedro to go on as good. Yeah, he did.
Was that in the first game where he scared it? Was that?
No, I'm talking about the West Ham game where he bagged the brace. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at the start of the season, what Jackson did last year and what João Pedro did are similar. I think João Pedro is better, don't get me wrong. What I'm saying is we've never seen in the history of João Pedro, he's never gone on and done it for a whole season. You know, he's, for whatever reason.
That is fair to say.
Yeah,
but
for whatever reason.
You can see Pedro's got natural footballing ability as what Jackson didn't have.
Yeah, no doubt.
So I think in a thriving team that's going to give him service and he's going to be able to provide service, I think Pedro will the cream will rise with him.
I hope so. I think the only thing is that the thing with this model is it kind of relies on gambles.
Yeah,
and like
rolls the dice on every single player.
Yeah, exactly. And people over-exceed. And so Cole Palmer, I mean, like, I'd love to give the ball credit for that, but I don't think anyone could have foreseen that Cole Palmer would be who he was.
Yeah, I mean, they paid the money for it, so clearly they saw something.
Yeah, they've seen something in loads of players, and they've all been sold. So like, I don't think anyone could say they saw Cole Palmer being contender for Player of the Year. I don't think anyone at Chelsea would say that they did. One
thing I'd say, Gabriel, is we speak about the model not working, but like you see a lot of incomings. Like we've signed 10 players this window. Last season, 13. Season before that was 12. Season before that was 17. We've signed over 53 players. Like we've already signed 2 for next season.
Yeah.
The reason that we do that, and I think it's no secret that we hoard players because we need to make revenue. Mm-hmm. We haven't got the stadium like your Manchester Uniteds. Even Newcastle have got a bigger stadium than us. We don't generate the revenue off of our stadium. We might get it off of our sponsors, even though we ain't had a front sponsor for like 2 seasons now. I don't actually care about that, but I mean, yeah, it would help towards the revenue, but
yeah,
you see, like we miss a big chunk of that through our stadium. Mm-hmm. So we've got to find another source of making revenue, and we've done it through holding players. Now we've set up the market's ours, and I've said this to everybody out there: the transfer market is Chelsea's. It's no one else's. When no one tops us for selling players, what we do in terms of selling players is absolutely incredible. No one will top that, and it'll only be a matter of time. Brighton are up there.
Keep buying all their players.
Yeah, but that's So that's tangible. They're on the same wavelength as us because we're buying their players. But when you actually look at, we've set that one part up, but obviously there's talks about relocating and building the stadium, etc. We've got this part sorted. If we get that next part sorted, the way that it's going, we're becoming quite sustainable as a club. And if we start getting the revenue from the stadium, if we do get a stadium, that could be 5 years down the line. I can't see where it goes wrong unless we build up the debt to a ridiculous amount and we can't pay it off. Do you know what I mean?
But here's the thing, JC. Do you actually think once we get the stadium and stuff, do you think the owner's going to say, "Oh, okay, well, now let's go and buy the next Ronaldinho. Let's go."
But we wouldn't need to.
What?
Why would we? The model that they've got at the moment is we're signing players that young prospects. They're wonder kids off a Football Manager. We know this. So the aim is that they're doing it now, so they don't have to do it later.
They don't have to. But what I think the point is if once the stadium, I guess the point that I'm trying to make, hopefully if that works and we start winning titles, no one's complaining, right?
No one will complain.
But what I'm thinking is, what my thinking of is, we could get the stadium, we could still be finishing fourth, and they're happy as long as they're making marginal money of signing and selling players. They'll be happy. But I don't think they care about winning. That's my problem. And so as much as we've done great in terms of selling players, to me it means nothing if it's not funding or if it's not sustaining us improving significantly in the transfer window. I don't think we have this time. We've just been better than last time.
The thing is, we've been very, very spoilt with Roman Abramovich in an era where there was no PSR. So we was his not toy, but we was his, we was like his gold medal. This is what billionaires do. They buy sports clubs and show them off. And he was just spunking money at Chelsea, going, here you go, look, I'm winning everything. Here you go to everybody else. And he loved it. And the thing is, he loved football as well. And he loved the club. So the only way that I know I think it's too early to say that about the board. I'll be honest with you.
But then you look at us, and I look at us this window that people are happy with. Tottenham beat us in this window. Tottenham should never beat us in any window.
Tottenham had a long way to go. We didn't. The gap was not the same. What you got to remember is also you say the board don't care about winning, right? But what happened in the Club World Cup? We bought João Pedro. We tried to get Gittins as soon as we could, and we were active to make us stronger in that competition. So how can you say the club don't care about winning?
This is going to be controversial, but the Club World Cup. It's like, would they do? Okay, put it like this. Do you think would they do the same thing for the Premier League? If we were when we were last year in the Premier League, where we were at 1 point off the top when we went into the Christmas break, if they got a backup striker for Jackson, maybe we can go on and win the league. They didn't do it. These are players that I think the Club World Cup. These are players that they were going to buy anyway, right? They tried to get Gittins. I don't know what difference.
To be fair, we were linked with them way before the Club World Cup.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it was thinking. In fact, they even said we're not going to play a Club World Cup tax, and that's why they didn't get Magnon. So I don't think they're doing it. But by coincidence, João Pedro happened to come in and be the key thing to us winning the Club World Cup. But I think if you ask this board, if in January we needed one player to help us go and win the Premier League, I don't think they'd do it. I think they would say, "Oh, we've got players in our pipeline," and they wouldn't do it.
Do you think we was one player off from winning the league last year? That was Gabriel.
No, we definitely wasn't. We wasn't. We were significantly off. But I think would they do it though? That's the thing. If they were, I don't think they would.
You can't tell the future, can you? Let's see what they do this season.
No, but I've seen it based on the window of spending and based on how they're operating now. Like, I don't think we're one player off. I honestly, this is what disappoints me most about this window. I actually, aside from Liverpool going and getting Isak, which I think has blown the market, I don't actually think we're that far behind anyone. I think we could have actually. Well, but
if you're the caliber
there you go.
of players that we're signing in the position that we're at, because this was one of my issues with this window. We're going in, like you said, we're going into the Champions League. We've got this title of being the Club World Champions. We should really be trying to progress on from finishing in top four. I don't necessarily believe that we're going to win or like even challenge this season as an expectation. Sorry?
You don't think our challenge will go further into the season than it did last
Yeah,
year?
no, I do. But that's what I'm saying. I do, but I don't think.
So would you say that's progress or not?
Yeah, I would. That's
So
what I'm saying.
this is my argument. And as much as I'm not happy with it as a Chelsea fan, pre-blue coat, I wouldn't be happy with it. But when you look at this current squad and crop of players that we've got and the age of these players, we're not that far off from winning the league. We are potentially in the next couple of years likely like title contenders, and we should be winning the league with this current crop of players and their trajectory. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
But you know, Arsenal have been saying this for like 4 or 5 years. I think sometimes when the opportunity's there, you've got, you're very off. When the opportunity's there, you got a strike. And I think, I honestly think, you get a goalkeeper, you get the centre back that Maresca wanted, and you get one more attacking player, maybe a Javi Simmons, and you keep Nico, and you can actually challenge.
I think there's more to it than that. Like keeping Nico would have been a problem in itself, having three players like that.
I think the whole goalkeeper situation. I think everyone's saying we need to sign a player, Sanchez, and I was one of them. I'm one of them people especially more last season than this season. But I was saying Sanchez ain't good enough for Chelsea. But when you hear the rumours about Penders and what Penders is meant to be, I'm not surprised we're not signing a goalkeeper. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Why are we spending 30, 40 million, 50 million on a goalkeeper? Say for example, we went out and got Donnarumma, who's 27. That just cuts off. It cuts off what Maresca wants to do with playing out the back and playing out from the back and things like that. Plus, it cuts off Penders his progression, because the rumours are saying that Penders is coming in next season and Penders is going to be our number one. So the goalkeeping argument I get, but I'm not here for it. I'm not one of them.
Here's the thing: Magnon was 25. 25. It's chicken change. They spend more than that on Davide Washington.
25 mil. Sorry. I thought you meant 25. Sorry.
No. It was 25 mil. It was so. This is the thing. Like, it's for certain deals. It's, oh no, we can't do that. We got a model. Blah blah blah. I think you can spend 55 on Gittins. Like, it doesn't add up. That's why I said.
I do get what you're saying. But
yeah,
that's what they were saying. They had a value that they wanted to spend on Magnon, and they didn't want to pay the Club World Cup tax on it. So I don't know why we didn't then go after him in the summer after the Club World Cup was finished. But yeah, I didn't get that one myself.
And if we're so good at selling players as we keep on saying we are, we could buy Magnon for this year and flip him next year.
Well, that's based on our model, but Magnon will go outside of our model, just to put that in perspective. So
yeah, fair enough.
It wouldn't be so easy.
Magnon is a little bit old. It's not like it's been easy now, to be fair.
I think it's, I don't know, that the goalkeeper one I thought we could have done better with.
Yeah,
but I think you make a good point about Penders. They're touting him to be the next Thibaut Courtois. Why would we block his development? If he has an amazing season at Strasbourg this season, which apparently he's doing all right already, and we go and get Magnon, what do we do next season? We'll have that issue now, and I don't think they're willing to. I think they're learning from their mistakes that they made in the first season, signing players that they shouldn't really have signed, like your Koulibaly's and, you know, even Sterling. Look, they're paying the price for Sterling now. He just don't want to leave, which I get because he's on loads of money. So why should he leave? Like, what if it was me? I'd be saying, yeah, no, I'm taking this wage because I'm coming towards the end of my career. I ain't going to get a big contract again. So pay me out if you want me to leave. And I don't think they want to make these mistakes.
But here's the thing: I don't think it has to be either like one or the other, right? Like, don't get me wrong. I think the model should exist for like 80% of our transfer business. But I do think there sometimes is a time where you say, you know what, that guy is going to take us to the next level. We can go ahead and do it. So for this year, I know people, Eddie shut this down when we had conversations about it before. But for this year, left wing, there was an obvious player at Real Madrid who I think
There's no
kind
wrong
of
with
I think comes in and makes, and it's game changing for us. But instead, we spend 90 million, almost 100 million on two bang average players.
How much
What is the
wages
point?
is that player on though? How much wages does that player get?
I think you know what?
300K.
That's it?
Allegedly.
I think
Allegedly, yeah.
the only player
Allegedly.
I would have liked to have signed on the left wing, if it was at all possible, would have been Inaki Williams.
Really?
Only player that I
You know
would
who I wanted? Njai from Everton.
enjoy.
Njai, is that his name? Njai?
He's like
Where
a
is
wing
he?
forward, isn't he?
Not enjoy,
Yeah.
Enjoy, yeah.
Yeah.
Mate, that guy can dribble.
Honestly,
But
I would have just said put Nicholas Jackson on the left wing, personally,
Yeah,
because
he's a-
I don't
he's a
see
good
the reason why I don't rate Jackson is
Mm.
because he's playing up top, but I think he's a really good player, and I think as a left wing forward he could thrive. But for some
100%.
reason, the club are not seeing him like that. Maybe because they needed to make the 70 mil from the loan and the sell.
Mhm.
But I would have just done that and then kept him as a third choice striker and a left winger, and then we could have Garnacho on the left battling with Jackson. That would have been my ideal.
yeah, I think one thing that we haven't talked about so much, or maybe you talked about before I jumped on, is that there's these UEFA rules and restrictions which are coming, which I think played a big part in the reason why they had to get rid of Jackson and stuff.
And why
But-
we didn't get Simmons, I think that's the main reason why.
I remember we didn't get Simmons. Yeah, we had to sell someone this season to go and get Simmons. But the thing is ultimately, from what I understand, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, those are problems these aren't Abramovich problems or Marina problems. These are based on transfers that Dave did. So their model of buying everyone and then selling everyone, and let's be honest, not everyone is going out of profit.
I thought it wasn't. I thought it was the backlog.
No, I don't
Of-
think.
of the
From
Roman
what
era.
I understand, and I could be wrong, but from what I understand,
Ain't it supposed to do with that? No, we paid a fine, didn't we? We owned up to it.
Yeah,
I thought it was something to do with that.
Yeah, no, we so we were fined for PSR rules,
Ah,
but we weren't fined. So when we sold our training ground or stadium or hotels, one of them, that worked in PSR rules, but it didn't work for UEFA.
in UEFA. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so then that's why we've kind of got these restrictions. So it's kind of their mess as well. You know what I mean? That there's only so long that you can blame the previous government for what happened. At some point, you've got to be responsible. So yeah, so now we have to force players out who, like Jackson, like Madueke. I was less upset by Madueke, to be honest with you. I was happy to see him go, or not happy to see him go, but I was fine with him leaving and the fee that we got for him. But you're only happy, but then I'm happy with that because I saw the actual improvement with Esteval.
Yeah.
I don't know
It's
that
too early.
I see the. I
It's too
don't know
early.
that I see the improvement in.
It's too early. It's been 3 games. Come on.
It's not just about what I've seen in the pitch. It's about this season. It's about what I know of the players before. Like I'm not going to say I watch every German game, but I've watched Gittins before, and he looks like one of those basic pace motions. And what I think is, why did we go so hard for Gittins when Simmons was available in the market? Because I just think he's on a different level.
That's
Now
a
the
good
wages
question.
might be.
That's a good question, but I do think those two specifically are different player profiles. But I do think we paid over the odds for Gittins, based on what I've seen. But who knows? Like, I thought we paid over the odds for Cole Palmer.
Most
That
expensive
changed.
uncapped player he is.
Mm,
Most uncapped player.
Mm.
Yeah,
Another Joe Shields appointment, isn't it? Another Joe Shields signing.
But watch this space, I guess. Like, from now, I've got trust in the organization based on the signings that they've made. So I think if they think
look
these
at
players,
last season, you kind of have to. I
Yeah.
was one of these fans that was up and down. But that when it hit December, I was moaning like fuck, honestly. To be fair, I went a bit early on Enzo Maresca, and I admitted it. I said, like, listen, he's winding me up. I don't like his press conferences, and then everything just started going worse and worse and worse. And I kind of felt like I was justified because I went early. But then you get to the end of the season, we go on this crazy run, and you're just like, actually, we're starting to play really good football. Then we go into the Club World Cup, and you're like, nah, I was not expecting that. So fair play. You got to, do you know what I mean? And we were playing some like decent football in that club, other than the Flamengo game where we were dreadful. But
And I think just,
JC, honest question though, do you think sometimes a trophy changes the sentiment?
yeah, 100%.
Do you think we would feel the same way about because last season, to be honest with you, even I really respected the last 5 or 6 games because we ground out results. It's kind of like old school Chelsea. It felt like to me, and I respected that. But it still didn't change the sentiment of like how Christmas was until like March or April.
No,
which really was
said,
dreadful.
my opinion of last season was that ultimately we finished better than I expected to finish. But I still, even though my expectations were met, I still felt like we could have done better because of how we started the season. I felt like it was when it hit that December point, I blame Maresca for it because I thought he started being very negative. We started like messing up, like dissing the players out like Madueke. For some reason, I don't know what his problem was with Madueke at one point. I know he's a frustrating player, but he was just gunning for him constantly. He was dissing Caicedo at one point. And I didn't understand what he was doing, and I just his press conferences were very negative. He was telling the players that they're nowhere near ready, and then it showed. It gave them free reign to just piss it off,
but
drop a couple of results.
I thought what we got to remember is Maresca's still a fairly young manager, and obviously he makes mistakes as well as the young squad that we have. But for me, the take for that season was the last 6 or 7 games, and just every game we had a challenge and we overcame it. For example, the Fulham, when we were down, we overcame that challenge. Even the fact that we lost against Newcastle, we thought, you know what, it's going to go down here from there. But then we won at Forest, and then even in the Club World Cup, we go down. The old Chelsea, we cave. We came back and we smashed them, and I'm like, okay. And then there's another one, the Club World Cup. So the momentum built from that period has given me the confidence to say, look, I believe that the players have turned a corner, and it's not the manager, the players, they've reached a new level of maturity. So I want to see what this crop of players can actually achieve rather than go out and just buy another 5 Galacticos
and mess it all up again.
And stick it in. I want to see what these players can do.
I completely agree.
I agree. I think the dressing room did turn a corner last year. I absolutely agree with that. I do feel before we get it over the line that there's a few key positions and some experience that we'd need that could help us get over the line. Because I think it's one thing kind of like having the mentality and the self-belief, but it's the different thing doing it on that cold, wet night in Stoke when October comes, right? So I think we could... That was the disappointing thing for me, because I just think, okay, there is some good groundwork's been done there. Whether you want to give Maresca credit for it, the board credit for it, whoever, there are some good things that have happened. But ultimately, when it comes to actually trying to say, okay, we need this to win a league or we need this to close the gap, I don't think they will. I just think they'll stick with the model, and that's where my
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
I think that's a question for next season's window, to be honest, because I don't think the expectation is, as much as we'd want to, the expectation is not to necessarily win the league. So I think this is what I'm hoping for. I think the club are saying, okay, let's see how far this club can push, right? If we can get up there and we need to go more next summer, hopefully they do that. If they come next summer and they're still doing these bit part exchanges and playing around with different experiments, let's just say we finish second or something and we're quite close to the top, and they don't invest in the squad in the right places, then I'll agree with you. But I think at this point in this season, I don't think it would have been the best idea to go gung-ho in the market. I think what they've done is shored up the squad, added a bit of depth, and improved in little places. And I think that's good enough to kind of push us on to see where we can go. And don't forget also, there's a January window. So if we really need to dig deep and get a striker to take us over the line, if we're up there, potentially we can still do that.
I don't think that's the thing. I don't think they would do that.
I don't think they will, but not in January for sure. But I think for next season, I think they'll step it up.
This is what I said earlier, Case. Do you think that us signing a striker last season would have won us the league?
Nah.
So that's what
I think
I'm saying.
The damage was already done. I just think
there was a point in signing a striker last season.
But I think it would have made it more comfortable us finishing fourth. We wouldn't have had to go to the last game of the season.
Same time, you're probably right, but same time we finished fourth. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So what's the difference in signing a striker for 60 million and panic buying to
I mean,
finish?
that was a like it could have gone the other way. It didn't, but and that's what
That's
do you know
what
what I
I'm
mean?
saying.
We've got,
And
now
you
in hindsight, we can look at it and go, all right, fair enough.
I
At the
think
time,
that last, like we've said, that last 8 games of the season, the last 6, 7, 8 games of the season, I think that's taken the players' mentality to a new level.
yeah, I agree.
You know what I'm trying to say? It's manned them up. They've had to man up, and they manned up. I'm devastated. I'm so devastated that Colwill got injured.
Cole, yeah.
The my biggest heartbreaking moment of this season already. Like, it is genuinely bothered me so much that he's got injured, because he was genuinely turning into the player that
We wanted him to be, yeah.
we was hoping.
And you're starting, the one thing I've been saying to a lot of rival fans is that we're starting to see a core in our team.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
you say, the Cucurella, the Colwill, the Caicedo, you could chuck Enzo in there, but a lot of Chelsea fans don't like him. I don't know why, but Enzo, I'll put him in there. Palmer.
Enzo's a
I
frustrating.
know why.
He's a frustrating player. Like, for me personally, he's just not got the legs for what we require. Like, technically he's good. He works hard. I don't think he can cover enough ground on the pitch, and I think Caicedo exposed so much because of that.
Yeah,
But
and it doesn't do enough going the other way to justify not having the legs.
It is lucky Caicedo is that good that he can cover it, but it's only so long. Like with Kante, for argument's sake, I know Caicedo was a lot younger than Kante was when he eventually burnt out, but at some stage, is Caicedo going to burn out because of how much work he's doing because of Enzo, which is my biggest concern.
But it's slightly different now because Enzo's been pushed a bit more forward, right? And we have the inverted system that kind of helps Caicedo. I think my gripe is more on the side of the argument that he's not doing enough offensively. And I think towards the end of last season, he stepped up. So, and let's see what he does this season. I've been very disappointed with the first 3 games from him this season, even though we got the goal and assist.
Massively.
He's been shocking, yeah.
But on the back end of last season, I saw signs that would make me think that there is potential there. So maybe it's the burnout, maybe it's all the games. Let's give him 10 games in and see where we're at with Enzo, and then I'll make a judgment.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I think that is fair.
Yeah,
We also
I'll say this: I don't think Enzo will ever be. He would have been a British record if it wasn't for Caicedo, right? Or I don't think he'll ever live up to that price tag.
No. That's not his fault.
No.
Yeah.
The thing is, I reckon we sell him next season to Madrid, and I reckon we get our money back.
If we can recoup 80 million for him,
I was thinking 80 mil. 8 mils in my head. I'll be happy with that.
80 mil, I'd be happy with.
I reckon we get our money back. I'll guarantee you we get our money back.
Do you see how like this is what I think is? It kind of feels like our parents have given us PlayStation, so we let them off for doing bad stuff. Like 80 million recoup. That's not good selling.
It's not good. But we are where we are.
It's not. But
We are where we are.
same thing. They bought Enzo in their first season, no? In the Jam.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
So
Mistakes were made, didn't it?
mistakes were made. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, he was an original.
Same thing with Mudryk. Like it was a like Arsenal were pushing to buy this player. It was the same window that we bought Mudryk as, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So same sort of thing. Arsenal was pushing to buy this player, and
We wanted to compete.
Yeah,
Look, like you were saying earlier, Gabs, we wanted to just do what you were doing, just buy any player that we needed to buy there and then. It didn't work, so we changed.
that's what I'm saying.
No, that's not what I was doing.
No, listen, yeah, that was a mess up with that.
That was a mad window.
That would mean Enzo Fernandez, Fofana, Mudryk, Cucurella, Sterling, Koulibaly, Badiashile, Madueke, Gusto, Chukwuemeka, Casadei, Andre Santos, Aubameyang, Datro Fofana, Felix, Slolina, Dennis Zakaria. 17 players we brought in that window.
That's two windows. That's both windows.
Yeah. Across that season, sorry.
Yeah.
So we spent 630 million euros that season.
Yeah. And now,
The model definitely changed after that season, if we're honest.
Yeah.
So
Well,
even
when
when
you
we're saying
look at
Bluco's been there for 3-4 years, we have to look at we can kind of write that off and say, look, they started again and this is what they're doing now.
100%. When you look at the next season, yeah, bearing in mind, remember they were saying, "Oh, we can't fit the players in our change room" and all this nonsense. Yeah, we got rid of 16 players that season. Yeah, 8 of them for free. Flipping hell. Ross Barkley, Danny Drinkwater, Jake Clark-Salter, Charlie Musunda, Matt Miazga, I can't say his name, Marcus Alonso, Christensen, and Rudiger, all on a free. Next season, we bought 12 players, got rid of 20, got rid of 20 players. We spent a lot less, still in negatives. Then the season after that, which is Enzo Maresca's first season, we signed 13, got rid of 16 players, still in a negative. Enzo Maresca's second season, we signed 10 players, we get rid of 14, and we're now positive. We're in profit on all of our signings. So it's only been 4 years, but we're starting to turn profits over in our transfers now.
But this is where I would say, I mean, and look, I don't want to seem like the guy who's just anti everything with the model, but ultimately, they bought a bunch of players. 80% of them we haven't needed. Like you could argue, like it's difficult now to look at the team that they got left with, because when you look at it now, Kante is older and he's in Saudi Arabia, or Kovacic is past his best and he's at City. But ultimately, you could have added 3 or 4 players onto that team.
Yeah.
On that team that he inherited with Thomas Tuchel, and we would be at least as good as we are now, if not further.
I don't agree. Honestly, if we pull up that team that we had that won the Champions League, it was not great. And remember, a couple of those players left on a free, which we couldn't control anyway. So we would have had to buy 6 or 7 players, I think, to be able to compete.
I think you have to remember at the beginning of that season, this is what I mean, like sometimes memories are short term. Beginning of that season, everyone said that we were a Romelu Lukaku away for winning the title. Mm-hmm. That was the talk, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So we can't go from a Romelu Lukaku away from winning the title.
Who was everyone? Was that Chelsea fans saying that, or was that?
Yeah, Chelsea fans as well. Absolutely. When Lukaku was supposed to be the missing piece, right? The final piece in the jigsaw. Same way that we see it now, like with Jackson. Oh, because Havertz missed so many chances and Werner missed so many chances. If we just get a finisher in, that'll be the end of it. And it doesn't.
It might have been if we did get one last season.
It doesn't always doesn't always work like that, because the false 9 type players, like which I would put I would put Jackson into. The finishing is not as good, but actually Jackson's movement creates a lot of the chances that he gets. And I think you'll actually see how we missed that, because you'll say this season there'll be less glaring chances missed but I don't think you'll see as many chances as when Jackson played. With João Pedro, yes, there will be. But let's say it was the Lapin. I don't think the Lap will get as many chances as what Jackson did.
Jackson runs channels like Jackson does, though.
Delap runs channels, but it's more physical running than chasing. I think Jackson's movement is actually, despite the offsides, his movement is actually a lot more intelligent than Delap's.
I don't know.
I don't personally agree, but listen, it's all for us to see this season. Like you say, we will see this season, and if it turns out we do miss Jackson, I'll hold my hands up and say, listen, we've probably done that.
For me,
I want to be clear. Jackson is not Chelsea level. I want to be clear. So I think that people think that maybe because I'm not happy with the sell. I just don't think. We all know scoring goals at Chelsea is one of the hardest things that you do. I mean, people say, "Oh, but Delap scored 12 at Ipswich. If he comes to Chelsea, that just means he'll score loads." Doesn't always work out like that. We've got world-class strikers who have come from other places where they scored loads of goals and come to Chelsea and failed. So I always respect Jackson for getting double digits 2 years in a row, even though he missed a whole bunch of other chances. He's not Chelsea level, but there's nothing to say for me that Delap is clearly trained as a striker. He clearly has striker instinct, a striker movement and technique. But he also misses chances at Ipswich. It's not as if he wasn't it's not as if he's like the perfect number. And you've seen it like even with like in the possession-based teams. You take Haaland at Man City. He struggled for a long period of time, like not getting touches of the ball, maybe getting like finishing his chances. But so I think that Delap will have the same type of challenges that Haaland has, but not be as good a finisher as him. So when he gets those free chances, it might not be a goal. That's how I see it going to play out.
Comparing him to Haaland's harsh, but I would say even from the little sample size I saw, and I know it's a Club World Cup, but I just saw a striker, right? I saw the way he moved, the way he.
Did you think he was good in the Club World Cup? Because I didn't think he was.
In some games he was. I think
against El Tunis, I think he was good. The other games I thought he was poor.
Come on well against PSG.
Yeah, I thought we done well.
But we were 3-0 up.
We were
2-0 up
up.
when he came.
And he was just chasing. And the thing is, he missed the chances he had. Now, let's be honest, like don't get me wrong, there were glaring chances or whatever.
He should have scored. He should have scored again.
Yeah, he should have scored. Yeah, if Jackson had missed those chances, we'd kill him. You know what I mean? So it is.
I said that when he missed that chance. I said, to be fair, if that was Jackson, I'm absolutely abusing him. So I said, I did say that.
But again,
but Delap's still young.
We've got a very small sample size for Delap, right? We've got 2 years of Jackson. So I'm happy to take the gamble, if you want to call it that, and see what this different profile of striker can do. And don't forget, obviously, the club still needs to adapt to his strengths and stuff like that. And he came into the Club World Cup without even playing with the squad before. So you have to factor that in as well. So give him time to get to understand the squad, so the squad understand him. See him miss those chances. See him not rate the right movements, and then judge him. Don't say on the basis that he's played for Ipswich that automatically he can't make the jump. We can't just say that straight away. That's my view.
I'm not saying I'm not saying
You
he can't
kind of
make
are.
the jump. No, what I'm
Basically,
saying is I haven't seen anything to demonstrate that he will make the jump.
And you haven't seen anything. You should have just said you haven't seen anything, because yes, you haven't seen anything. He played how many minutes before he got injured, right? So you haven't seen anything.
Okay, what I'm saying is what I saw him at Ipswich.
Okay, let's forget that.
No. What I saw from him at Ipswich was a player where, first thing, Ipswich played entirely to his strengths, and also it was a lot of chasing, a lot of like endeavor, but not a lot of technical.
How do you know? How do you know Ipswich played to his strengths? How do you know he didn't play just to accommodate Ipswich? Because he came from Man City, a possession-based team, right? And that's his heritage, that's his growth.
But they didn't want him. That's the thing. They got rid of him.
No, they did want him. They had a buyback. When they got Haaland in front of him, what's he going to do?
Yeah, but okay, put it like this: Man City do not have a second striker now. They did not choose to exercise that buyback, which they could have got easily. Why do you think that is?
They've got Marmoush. He's their second striker, no?
Marmoush is not. Marmoush is
injured. They got injured, you know.
Is injured, and he's more. He's like a wing forward type player. They haven't got a striker. They haven't got.
Marmoush suits City's formation more than Haaland does.
Yeah. He suits ours as well. More than Haaland does. I mean, more than Delap does. That's my point. Like, if I don't think like I said, look, hopefully Delap can improve. He's only 20 years old, so that's where his thing is. But if I don't see Delap fitting into the way we play.
Well,
fair enough. If that's what you think,
that's an opinion, right? There's not really factual. There's nothing. It's just based on what you think, right? So let's see if you're right come end of the season.
Yeah,
because you never know. Maresca might have a plan to switch up the way we play to suit Delap a little bit more
for certain games.
Yeah, for
certain games.
Oh yeah, I'm the same as the Lions share. I didn't want Palmer. Well,
no, wait. I think you're saying that City didn't want Palmer. So if Palmer,
it's the same as Delap. Right? Yeah, I hear it. It's a good shot.
Yeah, great.
I don't think it's exactly the same though. I think you saw that Pep actually played Palmer. He played him in some
Community Shield and the Super Cup, wasn't it? He scored both goals.
Yeah. But Palmer went his first team, and he said no, he wanted to go on.
Delap said the same thing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well.
I don't think that. How many appearances did Delap get for City? You got the stats there. I don't think he played many games for City.
I don't think he did either.
Palmer didn't play many.
Palmer didn't either. Palmer didn't.
No. But I think,
Was there a-
but I think with Palmer, you had players like Mahrez and all that in front of him. That was the issue. But I don't think it was that Pep didn't trust Palmer. Whereas I think he didn't really trust the lap.
You're just making it up. You
I-
just made it up. Did you speak to Pep yesterday? Did he tell you that?
No, I'm basing it on the fact that Palmer played in the Charity Shield. Palmer played in the Super Cup. Palmer played in the Champions League. Palmer played games for City. It's not he didn't play. It's just that he would not have played enough games to kind of aid his development, and that's
Can
where he left.
anyone check the stats of how many games have played? Because I don't think it's that many personally. If you compare the two,
I don't think
It wasn't.
I think he played the Charity Shield and he scored, and then everyone just saw him there. But
He played
really,
the Super Cup and he scored. He played the Champions League the season before. Bear in mind, as well. It's not just. It's not. I'm not saying Palmer played loads of games for City, but he played significantly more than Delap. From my perception,
what does significantly mean?
but I don't think they use. I don't think they really use Delap at all, apart from like the Carabao Cup.
I mean, that's where you expect him to play.
Jackson is a better striker than Delap. Lion's share. Sorry, he is.
He's not. He's not. He's not a better striker. He might be a better player, but he's not a better striker. I'm not having that.
Well, I you know what you say. Just you can't base it on nothing. I'm not gonna just base it on one or like at the end of the day, if you're saying just based on pure finishing or goals or whatever, their records are similar, and Jackson has much better all-round game, clearly better all-round game.
Let's see this season. That's all I can say, because we're just going to go around in circles until we see what he's actually about.
Yeah. Well, you know what I would say is ultimately we have, just despite the flaws, we have evidence of Jackson scoring goals at Chelsea. We don't have that with Delap.
But we didn't have evidence of Jackson scoring.
Yeah, I was going to say it's another dice roll, isn't it?
No. I didn't. When we signed Jackson, I was furious. I was like, "What the hell is this?" Ebby predicted that he might get 20 goals in the first season.
I said 15. I said 15. I was close.
You started at 20.
No. I started at 15, and then I went down to like 9.
But one thing you can say is he did it in the Prem last season. Do you know what I mean? Got a fair amount of goals for Ipswich, who got relegated in the end. I think he was double figures. So, and we got him on a decent price.
He was double figures, and he's young. So
you know, that was one signing that I actually wanted to make. When they said that we were linked with him, I was like, "That's a striker that we need." Even if it's a backup, let's take him. Yeah,
100%. I was gassed for it.
I don't. Well, there's two things. One, I don't think he's Chelsea level. I'll be honest. But even if he was, I don't think stylistically he fits in with what like I was saying before. I think it's the same thing. I think you'll see the Lukaku thing that we saw before, where like he might score goals, but he doesn't really help the team. I think it'll be I think it's in that Lukaku Haaland type of model where actually like he's an old school striker in the modern team.
I think you're doing him a bit of disservice, because I think the way he holds up the ball and stuff will definitely help us. And I think we've missed that. And that's some of the stuff I saw in the Club World Cup. Holding up the ball, linking up play. I think you're underestimating his potential. Like I said, he's rough. Maybe his touch is not the greatest. Maybe, I don't know, but maybe his intelligence ain't fully there. But I think he can definitely add a new element to our attack for sure.
He plays like a striker. For me, I just watch him and I go, "That's a striker." And I look at Jackson and I go, "He's a winger." Not necessarily an out winger, but a forward player that should be playing out wide.
I agree, but it's similar with João Pedro, though, right? But João Pedro is just a better finisher than what Jackson is, from what we've seen so far.
But I think João Pedro's movement is crazy. You say Jackson's movement's good, but I think João Pedro's movement shits on him from the.
Because João Pedro could actually play as a number 10 as well. So that's an element that Jackson don't have. So he can drop deep and knows when to do it as well.
Oh,
Chelsea fans are always the same. This is why the board do it. They just buy a whole bunch of players, because whenever we get a player, it's a new player. He must be good.
Right.
Delap hasn't even had the England call up.
What?
Hasn't even got to.
Is that a bad thing? He's got
No.
Harry Kane, Ollie Watkins, Rashford, all these players above him. Like, I don't know
Rashford has been terrible.
what? But he's got
Oh,
heritage,
come on,
bro.
man.
He's got heritage.
Under
in
21
that
champion,
England shirt.
isn't
How-
He didn't even go. He didn't go. I don't think he didn't go to that. He was playing for us.
Did you not go to that?
He would have. He would have.
He would have got to. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. England under 21 striker who is at a relegating team, who's at a team that's battling against relegation. It's not Chelsea caliber.
Who scored more than 12 goals as a Premier League striker last season?
Well done to him. I'm not.
No,
I'm
no,
not
but
disputing
you're saying it's not a Premier League striker, but Premier League strikers are not doing what he does or what he done last season. So
yeah. But it's like I said. I don't think that necessarily will convert to success at Chelsea.
it may or may not. But who done a better job last season than him? Not many strikers. So give him the benefit of the doubt. And the fact is, we've got another striker on top of him. It's not like we've bought him as a main man. So I just don't see the problem.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see how things go. Like I said,
It'll be interesting to see how we set up against the better teams this season. Because I don't think we're gonna. Personally, I wouldn't go into it playing a 4-2-3-1 with with Palmer in the 10 and or Pedro in the 10. I'd put Pedro up top, Palmer off the right, and Neto off the left. Personally, that's what I'd do this season.
I think like we saw against Palace,
and then Enzo sort of as the 10, so to speak, but giving the midfield a bit more of a support.
Yeah,
That's
it was a bit toothless against Palace with João Pedro up top.
Only reason I say that is because Palace come in, they had a three at the back, and they was set on defending. With the top sort of four games, it's going to be a lot more open. There's going to be a lot more spaces in and around the box and sort of them sort of areas for us to support Pedro a little bit more. Plus Neto's pace. I don't know, man. I think it's
I think that Garnacho and Gittins, I think they'll do pretty well in those games, no?
Potentially.
I'm actually excited for Garnacho. I'm not going to lie.
Me too.
Listen, what I've always said about Garnacho, I think he's so effective coming off the bench. I think he's actually a much better player. Even when he was first coming through at United, I was saying, in case you could even go back to group chats and chat search, I was saying Garnacho, every time he comes off the bench, does really well, gets a start, and then goes missing. I think he's a good, very, very good impact player, and I think he could have a good role for us this season doing that.
Do you think Gittins starts over him then?
Not for me.
That's the thing. I think Gittins is probably, you could use that same description because he's explosive. I'd say that he would be another good one to come on and be an impact player, but I don't know if I'd start him. I think if we're going to gamble on Garnacho, the gamble is that he has come on and he's improved. I haven't seen it at United, but then I'll give him the benefit of the doubt in that United have been terrible, so let's hope that he has come on another level and his decision making's improved, because I think he has a lot of good attributes. He just tends to be like, when he gets to the final third, he often makes the wrong decision.
Yeah, agreed. Like I said, I think Garnacho will be the primary left winger, and I think I'm excited to see what he can do in a Chelsea shirt. Put it that way.
Shall we break down our window then? So I think one of the key things that a lot of Chelsea fans didn't take into consideration is that we done our business very, very early. So when we saw the window shut, I saw a lot of negative people moaning and saying we didn't do enough. But I think a lot of that is because they're not really considering we front loaded it for the Club World Cup. So we brought in, I don't know if you want to include Kendry Páez and Esteval, who we signed in other windows but joined this season. I don't
Definitely
think
Esteval.
really.
Definitely Esteval.
But do you include that as part of our window?
Because he's part of this fold. There's a reason why we didn't buy another right winger, because he's coming in. So he's part of this window.
I think
I'd say.
I think that's been a little generous, but fine. If you want to
You
include us,
can,
Naval,
you, can, you can look at it from that way, but from a business perspective, you could turn around and say, well, it wasn't this window. Do you know what I mean? If you're talking about how
yeah.
much
Sorry about
window,
the transfers, the fees, or when the fees
Yeah.
went through or anything like that. I'm talking about players in this window.
Exactly. He's coming
Yeah.
into the club this window,
Right,
right? He's coming
okay.
to play for us now.
in that sense, then we signed Liam Delap, 30 million release clause. Turned down Man United to get to us. Which is always
But
a good sign.
Man United are not a great draw anymore. Like this is not.
They
He
are.
was
not
leaning
something-
towards going back up north, weren't he?
Mm.
Yeah.
And we got it. We won the Europa League, Conference League, got into the Club went to the Club World Cup, and he signed for us.
Yep.
Now, unfortunately, injured for 6 to 8 weeks, well, 10 weeks, I heard, from
Yeah.
point of injury, which is, shit, to be fair, but
I didn't think it was going to be that bad because it was his hamstring, wasn't it? It didn't look that bad, but he was hobbling off kind of thing. It weren't like he was stretched off or anything like that. But if that's what they're saying, that's what they're saying.
They haven't released the normally they say what grade it is and stuff like that. I haven't seen like anything to do with what grade of hamstring it was. Or
my hamstring, I'll be honest. When I done my hamstring, I literally limped off the same way the lap limped off, and I was like, But then I've seen my brother. My brother done his hamstring. Yeah, mate, he could barely walk. So, originally when I first see the lap's hamstring go, I was like, surely
too bad he's walking off.
Yeah,
You see, Sacco,
it looked like he could continue. Like you're still kind of trying to hobble about. Yeah.
But
the club are very suspicious with the way like they do with injuries. They don't really give us a lot of information.
I think they're extra cautious as well. I think he'll probably be back earlier than that. They just want to kind of like put it out there to kind of give him time to heal. I think with Reece James and Fofana, the way they've had their injuries, they're kind of like scared to tell people the official time frames.
Yeah.
So we also signed
Jimmy. I take your point. The start of the window was actually really positive. So I agree with you. But I think when you look at it as a whole, like if it only takes one injury for us to have to start Mark Gue, I can't say that we've improved.
You keep saying that, but it will be 2 injuries because João Pedro's there.
But what I'm saying, but you have to have. You can't go into the Champions League and play one strike on Monday, Wednesday.
The problem is Jackson wanted to leave. He come out and said he wanted to leave.
You see that I guess you look. The truth is, we will never know. We have no proof of it.
Pay $3 million to go.
But I think the club are very sneaky. I think it's the same thing they did to Mason Mount, the same thing they did to Madueke. They do something behind the scenes, which makes it clear. That's how we're good at selling, to force them out. And then they tell Ornstein and all these guys that they've asked to leave or about the
I don't dispute that. I don't dispute that. I think the only argument that I would agree with you is that we should have had 3 strikers. So, for example, we shouldn't have let Mark Gue go to Sunderland in the first place, and we should have had 3. We should have those 3. That could be an argument. But I don't think we needed to keep all 3 of them, including Jackson. I think we needed a 3rd striker or somebody who could play in the striker position more. But I think with João Pedro and Delap, having another 3rd striker of the same level would create problems. So I don't think we needed it. I just think maybe we should have kept Gue in the first place.
You see, but then I think when you already have a Jackson who says he is happy to fight for his place, I don't think it creates problems. But I think having Mark Gue, because my fear is that we will do to João Pedro what we did to Jackson last year, which was one. I'm sure his injury was from being overplayed because we just did not trust Nkunku at all. So he played every single game every week, and that kind of contributes to it. But 2, you've got to have competition, and you've also got to have someone if someone says, okay, he's in poor form, take him out of there for a little while and put someone else in. You can't do that with Gue.
But you can do that with Delap.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Arguably, we haven't seen it, but arguably you could, right? But we're not going to. We're now not going to see Delap until December.
November. It's not that serious. It's a few months. When it gets to the business end of the season, he'll be back.
The season
We were flying through November with just Jackson. I get it. Yeah, we didn't have Champions League, cool. But at the end of the day, we can get to December or January and say, okay, if we need to buy another striker, on the basis we have 2 strikers and Gui. Like I said before, Gui, we should have had Gui as a third option, or we should have had someone as a third option, someone makeshift. But I'm happy with the 2. Sorry.
I don't think we should have sent Gui on loan.
Yeah, exactly. That's I think what is the problem.
If you didn't recall him.
Bear in mind, guys, that Gui was the third choice for Sunderland.
I don't know why you keep saying that, by the way.
But because it's a fact.
I don't know why you keep saying that. It's not a fact. He just joined the club, so he's not going to come and just like he played for them, he scored for them.
No. But in the Carabao Cup. The other players.
Do you really think they're going to sign him on loan to be a third choice, and Chelsea just going to have it?
What?
If they would have signed him as a third choice, we would have put clauses in that loan where they would have had more money. I think.
They signed him as they signed him as a rotational striker. Most of the players that Sunderland have this year, they've signed this summer. It's not as if they're using the team from last year to go up.
Who's the 2 strikers above him?
The 2 strikers, let me get, or unless Jimmy's got the stats.
Because you keep claiming this third striker thing, but he was definitely not signed as a first striker. That's facts. I don't care whatever you say.
One starts with the M. I can't think of his name, but I think both of their strikers was there last season.
I don't think. Either way, if what I'm talking about is the level. If he can't come in and go straight in as Sunderland's first choice, he shouldn't be anywhere near Chelsea. Can't you see that? That's seriously. This is a newly promoted team. If I could understand, I could take the argument with Delap because he was their guy. Everything was built around him. You can't tell me that we got a player who's gone into rotation at Sunderland, whether you want to say second or third choice, he's rotating.
Yeah, but do you know how I look at it? Like we said, we done all our business early. You can't plan for injuries if you've done your business.
If you're top clubs plan for injuries, that's what they do.
All right, well let's look at our team going into this season. As soon as the window opened, we needed another striker. We got Delap. We needed a backup who could play striker and potentially behind the striker. We got Pedro. We had Jackson there. Jackson wanted to leave. I can't. What do? You have to. You've signed your strikers. You're looking at other positions.
Jackson made his own bed when he got the red card against Newcastle, and then he got the red card in the Club World Cup. He made his bed, man. That was a final nail in the coffin for me that he had to go.
I'd have actually kept him. I'd have actually kept him. Sorry, I'm not even going to lie. I didn't actually want him to leave.
I wanted him gone. Let me tell you the third thing was the final nail in the coffin. That touch in the Europa League final.
Oh.
The Conference League final.
Well, I thought this is your moment. Take it and run with it, and he just fucked it up.
Do you know what the funniest thing is?
Well,
the funniest thing is
with it.
My turning point with him was when he actually scored in the Europa League final, but he scored with his shoulder instead of his head. I said that's not our striker.
Conference League.
From when you couldn't head that ball, you're not our striker. I just knew it from that point. I was happy and I was celebrating
like he'd headed it in.
I was celebrating the goal, but then when I saw it in the replay, I said, "Nah, this is not our guy." That was the point. I wanted him going from there.
I agree that he's not good enough. I like, you're not going to get any argument from me, but he's a clear upgrade from Mark Gu. And this is the problem. Like, okay, sell him, but have a contingency, and I don't think we do.
Mark Gu.
So this weekend we're playing Brentford, right? Does the Champions League start the week after?
Yeah,
yeah. I thought we go away to Bayern Munich. So João Pedro will start against Brentford, maybe.
Yeah.
Are you happy now to kind of put Mark Gu in against Bayern?
Why would you do that? Why would you do that? all the top players. Salah plays midweek
Why would
and
you
on
do
the
that?
weekend
Yeah.
every week.
Haaland's
Everyone
gonna
does it.
No,
weekend. Haaland's going to not start this weekend and then
No,
not start
no.
the Champions League game.
Exactly.
come on. We know how
No,
it goes.
it's not Europa League where you
No.
change 11 players. People keep the same
No.
team. You know that, right?
This is
No,
Champions
no,
League,
no.
my Gabriel. We don't do that
No,
no
no.
more. We ain't got a B
But-
team.
But no, it's not about having a B team. But so you're telling me that we should play João Pedro now every game until the lap comes back?
Yeah, but this is
Yes.
No, we won't though.
Say-
I don't think
Say
we
we
will.
go,
Yes.
say we go 2-3 nil.
Okay,
Exactly.
okay.
You rest him 20, 30 minutes end of the games.
Okay, so what game are you comfortable starting, Mark? You
It
because
doesn't
you can't be the Carabao Cup because he's cut tied. So
You know
what game?
I'm sure. I'm pretty sure Drogba played every single game for us.
No, he did
Fair
not. We
Fair
used
enough.
to rotate with Crespo. We used to rotate. When you're in those two big competitions, you have to rotate. Everyone does it. You can't play the same guy every single week.
He probably got rotated against Genk, right? So if we were playing Genk, I don't mind
No.
Mark Gui starting. Put it that way. The Champions League's changed now. Yeah.
So you all right.
Not in the
Yeah,
group
I-
stages.
I-
In the group stages,
it's
not every team in the Champions League is going to be good. Do you know what I'm saying? You're playing Genk, you're playing AK Athens.
Our draw.
Mark
is
Gui can
kinda-
play against them
Our
teams.
draw is not good. I'm not gonna.
Our draw's not good.
We don't
So-
really get a rest. Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah, but I'm saying, but typically in the Champions League, if we're looking historically,
At that time, Delap's going to be back anyway.
Yeah.
exactly. So calm down.
If not, we just stick
time?
Cucurella up top.
By what time?
We've got. Let me just check this. So we've got Bayern on the 17th.
Mhm.
Our next game after that is the 30th. So 2 weeks after that. In that time, we've got Lincoln and. Oh no, he can't play in the Carabao Cup, can he?
You can't play in the Carabao Cup. So who's going to play?
David
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 Washington.
Fofana.
They'll put George up top.
So we've got Benfica on the 30th of September. Our next
Yeah.
Champions League game after that is the 22nd of October. That's like a 3-week rest.
He won't be back for October though. He'll be back for
It
November.
won't be back for October.
That's what I'm saying. That's only three. That's only three
But
Champions League games.
But you can't play the same striker every single game. No one does that. No
Yes,
one does
they
that.
do.
If you were playing Football Manager, you
tell me
wouldn't
Mo
do that.
Salah don't play every game for Liverpool.
Mo Salah is a machine. He's not
You
thinking.
said
He's
nobody
not-
does that. Now we've got
No,
machines.
no,
Okay,
no.
João Pedro's a new machine. It's a machine that's being built
But
this
he's,
season.
but he's not. He gets injured. He's had injuries.
Yeah, he has.
You know what I
He
mean?
does.
Yeah, but Neto had injuries. Look how we managed him last season. He played like 50 odd games last season for us.
We could play Neto up top.
We
We've done it
rotate.
before.
We
But this is
rotated.
why-
Neto.
this is-
We
this is
rotated
why
Neto,
we
and
employ
even though
good
we didn't have,
managers. So I expect Maresca to be able to deal with it. If I'm honest with you.
Listen, look, nobody's
Like,
arguing the fact that we should have kept Gui in the first place, so he's not cup tied. Cool, everyone can agree on that. But I just don't think we needed 3 top level strikers. Like I think our prospective. Don't forget we're underestimating what Gui's potential is as well. He needs games. He can maybe show something, right? He's played for Barcelona. He scored for Barcelona before at a very young age. So the boy's obviously got talent somewhere. So
I'll
give
be
him a
honest,
chance.
yeah.
I said this the case on a previous stream when I was on before. Gui reminds me a lot of Jackson in the sense that he runs. He's not slow in that sense. He's not as fast as Jackson, but he runs a lot. He works hard, and he needs polishing. So he reminds me a lot of Jackson. So if you're turning around and Gabriel and saying like, oh, like, we've got rid of Jackson to bring Gui as our third choice striker, there are actually a lot of similarities in what they do on the football pitch.
There are similarities in terms of the effort and endeavor. I don't think he has I don't think he doesn't have the movement or intelligence of Jackson, to be fair. And I think it's important that you saw it last year. We had Gui was in the squad last year. Maresca did not trust him. And it's not like as if he's gone on loan and he's kind of built his experience or he's done anything. Why would we trust him now? We didn't trust him last season. Why would we trust
But
him now?
remember the time that he had to shine, he got injured. The time where it was like, this is your time, he got injured. So that was unfortunate.
The time when the other player got injured and he got injured as well. The lessons that we
Jackson
haven't
got
learned.
injured. Jackson got injured, as in he got injured.
But even so, like that time where Nkunku was messing up, I think he played Gu for one game. What was it? Maybe against West Ham away or something like that. He brought Gu in. And then after that, he started looking at different options. Like, Maresca doesn't trust Gui to go up top for us.
We've also got David Washington.
The defenders in
Yeah,
Europe
got-
are quaking in their
Wash-
boots.
He got recalled.
Washing money.
Yeah, nice. But yeah, anyway, Case, go back to your original. What the original point was about the squad.
No, I was just going through who we signed just before the
Yeah.
Club World Cup, obviously.
Well,
So we've done Liam Delap. That's gone off on a tangent for quite about 20 minutes.
Let's get back on topic.
We signed João Pedro, 55 million, joined in the latter stage of the Club World Cup. For me, that signing was brilliant. I'm not going to lie now. Obviously, beforehand, I was like, João Pedro, what is this? Like, I was in the same boat. We're going into the Champions League, going into Club World Cup. Why are we signing João Pedro? But he comes on, and without that signing, I don't think we win that Club World Cup.
100%.
The impact that he had straight away was just like phenomenal. Like, he was ridiculous. He fitted in straight away, and I can't knock it. So I'll hold my hands up and say, look, he proved me wrong. Like, fuck it. What a signing that is. And he's carried that on. So I can't knock that signing. I think that's a brilliant signing. And I think he's going to do well for us. You can tell just by watching him that he's a good footballer. He's skillful. Everything that we need, something different. Yeah. Creates his own chances. Like,
and he's another one. He's deceiving in the air. I know.
He scored what?
I'm not just going off
headers already.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I'm not just going off that header that he scored against West Ham. I'm
defensive headers as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then we signed Dario Esugu, signed for 18 million. He joined before the Club World Cup, and he went to the Club World Cup, didn't he? I actually thought he was all right when I watched him play. I thought he was decent. Yeah, I think his debut he was a bit shaky.
Yeah, I thought that on his debut. I was thinking, "Cool, what have we signed here?" And then
but then after that, I thought, do you know what? This kid's all right. Like he's
I've been impressed with him.
Yeah,
you haven't. Oh, you have.
I've been impressed.
He's injured now. He had thigh surgery today.
I see that.
Out for a while. We also signed Mamadou Sarr, who joined the Club World Cup. I think he made one appearance, didn't he?
Yeah, that's some. Yeah.
But obviously he's gone out. He's gone out on loan, isn't he? So
yeah, he's at Strasbourg.
Yeah, Strasbourg. Yeah. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, that's Strasbourg. Yeah.
Then we got Kendry Paez. Obviously, we signed him not this window, the window before, and he's joined straight away, and he's gone out on loan. Now that's a player that we could be looking at going, well, maybe we should have kept him here. I mean, we was looking at signing Xavi Simons at the time. We got rid of Nkunku. We could be arguing, well, why didn't we just keep Kendry Paez in the team? One to think of, not really sure why.
I think with him, it's more the long-term plan.
Yeah.
We send him on loan and try and get him some game time over in Strasbourg. If he can get 30 to 40 games playing that week in, week out, I think that's more. It makes more sense for us next season than it does for this season for him to just come and be a fringe player.
I think we'll end up flipping him, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, even if that's what I'm saying, even if that's the case, it's either he goes to Strasbourg, does really well, comes back, and we think, okay, we've got a player on our hands potentially in the squad, or he goes to Strasbourg, does really well, and we think he's probably still not going to be good enough for us, but we can sell him for a decent profit and flip him.
Yeah.
So
I think he'll do what I can't remember the midfielder's name now. The Brazilian midfielder that's come back this year. Santos. I think he'll be in the Santos mode. From all the buzzes you hear about the club, that they think he'll be a top player at some point, but it's just not ready this year.
No, I agree.
So we also signed Estevan, obviously, big name signing from Brazil, touted as like the next Neymar. I think he's beat his record in Brazil or something like that for the amount of goals he scored for what he is. Brazil, they're raving about him. Over here, he's come over. He's got all the PR behind him. He's got massive PR, man. I'm not going to lie. He's getting Man of the Match awards. He shouldn't be getting.
The commentators are on his nuts.
They love him. Well, listen, he's added a bit of spice to the team. Like I enjoy watching him, and I think we need that. Like Palmer had a bit of an off season last year where everybody loves watching Palmer because he's just that he plays the game how everyone loves to watch it. And I think Esteval coming in is another player that you look at and go, nah.
It's refreshing to see a winger come in.
The game's back kind of thing.
His first thing on his
start scoring. That's all we need to do. See him scoring them. Some of the chances that he's had. I just want to see him bury them, man.
Away.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think about Esteval?
Excited.
I'm excited about him.
Mm.
I just hope, it's one of those things like sometimes when you talk about a window, you got to talk about like what you hope you can get out for this season and what you hope you can get out for the future. I think Esteval will be a star in the future, guaranteed. I look at whatever he gives to us this season as a bonus. Like if he came in and he was a little bit quiet this season, I wouldn't be that upset about it because he's 18 years old and he's still got to learn the league. I've already seen that he can contribute from what I said, but if he struggled a little bit this year, I wouldn't necessarily say that makes it a failure or whatever, because I think he will need time.
Do you think his goal against us was good, or do you think Sanchez should have saved it?
Sanchez.
It's both.
Yeah.
It's both. Sometimes
that was unexpected. No one expected him to shoot from there, to be fair.
No way.
Yeah, to be fair, I'll give you that one, yeah.
You should still save it.
Yeah, no, I thought his position was all wrong. I was like, well, come on, man, what are you doing? So after the Club World Cup, we enter the window opens again, and we make 4 signings. Jamie Gittens, 48 million with add-ons. Another one that I was a bit like, whatever, it is what it is. But not really moving me, don't really care, it is what it is. Then we signed Jarrell Hatto. Now that's a player that I was actually excited to see because he's got a massive, what's the word?
Repetition.
Yeah, behind him. He's got Van Dijk. Van Dijk coming out saying this guy's like unbelievable. So I was happy we signed that one. And since seeing him play, I think he's quite tidy. I haven't seen enough of him really to make a full opinion of him, but one to watch. Then we signed Alejandro Garnacho. That one would not go away. From January, this rumour, this was one transfer that I knew was happening from January because it just would not fucking go away. Fabrizio Romano has never twerked for a player like this in my life. Well, since he started doing what he's doing.
It's his exclusive letter.
Absolutely. Every single minute of the day, he was updating this transfer. Oh, it's close. It's close. They're still interested. So this one was definitely happening. 40 million, I think is a good deal. I think he will hold value. I think we'll actually sell him for more if we do sell him. Arsenal will always come knocking anyway if we get bored of our players and give us a bit of money. Argentinian international. There was a player there before he entered this little toxic environment at Man United. I actually think he's going to do all right at Chelsea. I'm not going to lie. With an arm around his shoulder and some Maresca coaching, I think he can.
I'm in agreement. I think the biggest concern for him is his off-the-ball antics, which I think can be managed at Chelsea. I don't think you can get away with that at Chelsea personally. And I just think, we spoke earlier about how no one wanted João Pedro before he came, and I'm not to say that Garnacho is going to have the same impact, but I think there can be an element of the fact that people will be surprised at the impact he can have as a left winger. You've got to remember, for us, what's key for us is we're building something, right? We've got a young squad. Premier League experience is essential. So to get someone that fits the mold of having 2-3 years Premier League experience and is of the age of 22, he's been playing at a big club, so he understands the pressure of being at a big club. All he has to do now is just to come to Chelsea when he gets his opportunity, get his head down, and he doesn't have to do too much because he's got Cole Palmer next to him. He's got Esteval. He's got João Pedro. So he does the reins are not on him. He has to just come in and play a bit part role, and I think he'll thrive personally. But let's see what happens.
Is Palmer back for the game Saturday?
I think so. I haven't seen any updates yet. I
haven't heard anything.
They keep it there and said nothing. I know Lavia's training, but I haven't seen
Badiashile as well.
Badiashile, yeah.
Yeah.
Benoit.
So the last signing that we made on deadline day was Buonanet, loan deal, not even our player. He will go back to Brighton. No obligation to buy. Completely random.
That's
Don't understand
is
it.
arguably the most random.
Don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely do not get it.
I
For
mean,
me,
I get it if there was an option to buy,
whatever.
obligation to buy. I just think it is so random.
We had the Brighton manager coming out saying that we expect him to get some minutes and develop at Chelsea.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, they're taking the piss out of our club.
Yeah.
Lack of option killed that. deal for
That's
me.
a strange. You know what really killed him though. You know, like he came out and he was like, oh, you know, his
Can't wait
first
to play.
interview. Can't wait to play the Champions League, and it doesn't
Yeah.
get into the squad. I was like, oh
Bang,
my god,
beast
like,
him
what?
straight away. There you go, mate. Yeah, hit that.
You know what? It's not really
You had a
talked about.
Maresca
but-
signing. Was
but
not a Maresca
That's
signing.
it. That's it. And
Mm.
I do what Maresca kind of toes the line a little bit, but I do worry if you think about it. Maresca wanted the centre back. They told him no. Maresca clearly didn't want this guy. Like, are we setting Maresca up for the best chance of
Wait,
success by doing this?
Why are we saying that Maresca didn't want this guy though?
Because he didn't include him in the Champions League.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted him. Otherwise, he'd have put him straight in there.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, I don't understand why. Yeah, why we would sign him and then just not put him in the squad.
Yeah, yeah. But what?
All right, I want to go through how our window went before we throughout it. So not forget the signings. What went on in the background. Got to remember we were linked with about 50 players since February because I was keeping track of them all.
Yeah.
And then what we'll do at the end, I already know what to be fair, what did you rate out of 10, Gabriel? Because I know what Evans and I know what TK's is, but what was yours out of 10?
What was mine out of 10?
Can you say like a 3 in the chat or something?
I don't think I gave a number. I would give it a 6.
See, I said 6 as well. A 6. Eb said a strong 7.
Including out guys.
I
For me is what bumped it up. Yeah, I called it a 5 originally. Yeah,
but I wouldn't. But here is the thing. I'm not gonna like. I'm really. It really irks me that like we'll sign João Felix that everyone knows we shouldn't sign. Then we'll sell him and get value back. I say, oh, well done, the club. Look at them. They sold João Felix. We just didn't need him in the first place. Why sign him?
Yeah,
I do get that. And most of the sales are on that basis.
I don't think
remember that one particularly was for Gallagher, so we needed that Gallagher pure profit money.
Yeah.
And you know,
JC, like what you're, I don't know whether you're going to get onto it, but it's like what you're saying is about we're linked with a lot of players and how if we're going to have like if we're going to not pay the biggest wages and not pay the most money, our reputation and how we treat players is really important. This is the second year in a bounce where we've had a player stranded in a hotel, not knowing what they're doing, with Gallagher the year before, who was like an academy grad. And you guys know I'm not the big Gallagher fan, but I still think there's a way that you go about treating players. I don't like that we had agreed terms with Javi Simmons from like the end of the Club World Cup, and we left him hanging around for the rest of the time. He probably could have gone to Bayern Munich or someone like that, and he's ended up at Tottenham. Like, look at his life. Like, I think we do need to move more like a professional big club in the transfer market and not doing this.
These are some of the names that we were linked with. There was about 50 players that we were linked with since we lost to, was it Brighton that slapped us up? Was it Brighton that beat us? I think it was, wasn't it?
Something like that.
Beat us like 4-1, wasn't it?
Slapped us in the league.
So 50 players since February, yeah? I've only included some of the big names, yeah? Morgan Rogers, 80 million. Bit hefty, do you know what I mean? Donnarumma was obviously now at City. Victor Osimhen at the start of the window. Mark Gahey. Gyökeres, who's now at Arsenal. Sesko, who's now at Man United, thank God, fucking hell. Ekitike, who's at Liverpool, who I actually think's since watching him, I think is actually decent. I weren't too keen on that one for the amount of money, but watching him play now, I think flipping he's all right. Reinders, Dean Huijsen, who went to Madrid. Rodrigo, who hasn't left. We've been linked with Konate. We're still linked with Konate.
Oh,
Kudos ended up at Spurs and Mike Maignan. Then we had the saga with Xavi Simons, apparently waiting for us to get rid of Nkunku. We finally sell Nkunku. Then we go in for Fermin Lopez. Then we don't sign Xavi Simons. That was a little bit of a... And then Spurs come in and take him. A little bit of a... And when you're going through it at the time, you're thinking, what's going on here? Like, obviously... That's all the week leading up to deadline day. We were all thinking, right, we've probably, me included, forgot about the window prior in the Club World Cup. So at the time, you're thinking, well, what's going on here? This is a little bit embarrassing. Then the Jackson saga comes out, in flying to Bayern. He comes back. Then he ends up going back and he's now on loan. And then we find out that he's got a clause where he has to play 40 games that he's never going to reach. So we're never getting that 71 million that we're expected to get. But I mean, we've made money on him. We've got a record loan deal off of him. He wanted to leave. I guess if the player don't want to be here, you've got to get rid of him, kind of thing. Then there's the Garnacho obsession. Like, it was just constant. We knew he was signing this player. A lot of Chelsea fans didn't want to sell him, didn't want to sign him. So when you add all of that together, you look at what Maresca wanted. He said he wanted to come out and get a centre back. I'm not quite sure if he said that he wanted a goalkeeper, but I know for a fact I wanted a goalkeeper and I wanted a centre back. I didn't even want a left centre back when Colwell got injured. I wanted a right centre back to complement Colwell, and then obviously Colwell got injured. We've since, when you look at it, we've signed Hato, which is the left back cover that we need for Cucurella. We've signed 2 left wingers. We needed left wingers. We've signed a backup for Caicedo in Asugu. We needed that. We've got players coming back off of loan. Santos. We've got Esteval coming in on the right wing. We've shipped off Madueke because we know, well, I personally think Esteval is going to be better than Madueke. We signed strikers that we needed to sign. The only real thing that we didn't do was improve the goalkeeper position that we needed to do. But have we already done our business in previous windows, like what Tommy was saying? We've got Penders out on loan. Are we getting to the point where we don't actually really need to go crazy in the market anymore because we've already done all of that business? Like, we've already signed 2 players for next year, Deno and Quenda. So have we might not necessarily need to go mad in these markets anymore. So once you weigh all of that up, where do you think it actually really stands? I mean, there was the Maignan thing as well. We fumbled that. I felt like we fumbled that. But did we really need him?
Because reality is, we wanted to buy him for the Club World Cup, but we won the Club World Cup, and Sanchez was a big part of us winning that Club World Cup. He had a good tournament. Let's be brutally honest. Like, he did have a good tournament, to be fair to him, barring the Esteval goal.
Mate, he was ridiculous in that final.
Especially in the final.
Ridiculous.
So
yeah.
I think is Sanchez allowed a bit of saving grace this season? That's my big question. And I was one of Sanchez's biggest haters.
It's another gamble though. And the thing is, I don't mind it if that's the one gamble, but it's like half of our team is kind of based on gambles. Like, the defense is not
Really?
the defense. Oh, yeah. Like, Garnacho is a gamble to a certain to an extent.
I don't
João
think so.
João Pedro was a gamble. He's showing it's good, but initially it was a gamble. It's like
these are guys that have got 50 plus Premier League appearances, maybe more, 100. So
but that doesn't mean that for Chelsea it's not a gamble. Garnacho is a gamble.
I think the reality is, though, every single signing that you make is a gamble.
Who's not a gamble? That was going to be my next question.
But
Caicedo is not a gamble, for example.
I see something on I think Overlap done it, and they done a segment, and it was no player under the age of 21, I think it was, or 22, has scored more goals than
Garnacho,
other than 1 or 2.
Yeah, it was Lamine Yamal, and who's the other one? I can't remember the second one, but yeah.
He was
more goals than Doué. He scored more goals than, like, these other players that people are saying that these are meant to be the best players in the world or the best up and coming players in the world, and
But-
Garnacho's outscored him, being.
But Garnacho still divides opinion. Let's not like pretend
Listen,
like
I'm one of them. I'm one of them. Just bear that in mind. I'm like I said to you, I'm not Garnacho's biggest fan, but I feel like he can add a different dynamic to us this season.
Yeah. I think I think Garnacho will have a similar type of impact to what Sancho had last year. And I don't think, and I'm not the big Sancho fan. I think he got a little bit over criticized last year. Because he had some good moments. He played poorly at some point, but he did have some good moments. But what I'm saying is that level wasn't good enough. So then we've got Garnacho in, which I think he'll probably come to about a similar level.
Similar or more. But one thing I'll take from Case, from all the names that you mentioned on that linked list, yeah. How mad am I that we didn't get certain players? The only one I can potentially say I was a bit mad at Mignon at the beginning, but then I heard some reports and I did some digging and I heard that his form hasn't actually been that great. Potentially Donnarumma, again, the weight structure messes up the balance of the team, and he doesn't really play with his feet, so it goes against our philosophy. So aside from those players, what you could also say Javi Simmons, but me personally, I said it in the group chat, I prefer Garnacho over him stylistically on the fact that we need a left winger more than we need a cam, and I see Xavi Simmons as a cam. People say that he plays on the left, but he's not the same. He's not the same dynamic winner. He's more of a creative, right? And when we've got Cole Palmer there, I think it's overkill buying him for 60
I wasn't
million.
too fussed with the Xavi Simmons one. I'll be honest with you. It was a bit
exactly. So going back to my point, who from all the players we were linked with, who are we actually mad that we didn't get?
I'm kind of mad at the Javi Simmons one, and I'll tell you why. Because we've had to go and get Buonanotte, so clearly there is a feeling that because I think
you're only going to sign Simmons as a backup when you've got Buonanotte, who's decent player. I mean, he's okay. Like
I think what you do is you get Garnacho or Gittins. You don't get both.
Agree.
Then you get Simmons.
Yeah, but if you get
Gittins, he can do both roles.
If you get Gittins, we're still light on the left wing. We need another left winger.
But Simmons can actually play on the left. So you have
for God knows how long. Nobody knows what's going on with him.
So our left wing options
would have been Tyreek George.
Would have been Tyreek George, Garnacho, and Simmons, because he can play on the left wing. It's not his best position, but he can play on the left wing. I would have been happier with that.
You could argue Neto.
And you could argue Neto as well. Yeah. And I'd have been a lot happier with that than two players who like are, lack of a better.
I'll be honest, I'd rather Garnacho than Gittins, in my opinion.
Yeah. I agree.
You're going to look at a transfer and go, which one was the wrong one? For me, it was Gittins.
For me, it's Gittins, yeah. And Garnacho is actually decent value for money, whereas I think Gittins...
He's an international. Ain't he won the Copa America with them? Sorry, hasn't he?
I think he's ceiling tire as well.
Yeah, I think look at his goal catalogue. It's ridiculous. Just go look at his goals. I know you shouldn't really look on YouTube and look at stuff, but just look at his goal catalogue.
But stylistically, Gittins does add something that we don't have on that left side, and his dribbling ability and his close control and all of that stuff. I think he could be an important player. I just think he's very raw and he's not impressed me so far. But look at his YouTube also. Like, he scores some good goals, and the way he cuts in on his right and hits it, and the way he dribbles is quite impressive. So let's not write him off too soon.
Yeah. Now, one thing I will say about Gittins, which is what I like, but I think it could potentially be a bit frustrating with him, is he loves to shoot. Honestly, he cuts in on that right, but this is what could be a good thing as well, because
we don't have shooters. Last year we didn't have shooters like that.
Yeah, he just bangs.
I haven't really
delay.
I haven't really seen enough of him to really have an opinion of him, if I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, I thought
he was right in pre-season, but then when he started a couple of games, I thought it was just a bit reminded me of Noni.
It was terrible.
Yeah. Well, you got to remember when City let him go. It wasn't like when City let Sancho go and everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, this is such a big mistake." Or like when we let the other player go to Bayern as well, Musiala. when he went, people were like, oh, okay, yeah, he can go. It was kind of like that. Like he's not. He might come along leaps and bounds, but he was never like a wonder kid or anything. Which is why I wondered why we like pressed so hard for him.
Yeah.
Joe Shields.
One thing
Again, I'm going to trust the administration on this one.
One thing I will say about Gittins is he played one game in a Club World Cup, and he played 14 minutes in that game. I'm just looking on Transfer Market now. And then his first game back after that was the Leverkusen game, which he played 27 minutes. Then he played the AC Milan game, 73 minutes. He's not actually had a pre-season, and he ain't even had the Club World Cup.
Yeah, he really got started.
He's effectively had 2 months off of football. So I think we have got he has got a bit of. We have got to give him a bit of time.
Yeah,
But-
no, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, like, I haven't really got an opinion on it, but if you was to ask me which one you wouldn't have signed out of that lot, I probably would have said him. To be fair,
Yeah, same.
I think Mamadou Sarr. If you saw him at Strasbourg last year, he had a very, very good season. So us signing him at that moment of time, fair enough. When we loaned him out, it did piss me off that we loaned him out, but then it did make sense. I come round to my senses and was like, actually, no, it does make sense that we loaned him out. But back to what Ebbs was saying about these players that we were linked with, what about Mark Gahey and Dean Huijsen? I mean, we're never going to get Dean Huijsen as soon as Madrid came for him, but what about Mark Gahey?
Well, I'm 50-50 on Mark Gahey. I think I would have taken him, and I think he probably is. He probably
I was disappointed
he's
in
better
that
than
as well.
Colwell. He's better than Colwell. But then again, it's like, okay, if we buy him, that's Colwell's position essentially, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm 50-50 on it.
Well,
Yeah, but he can play right side. He's right-footed.
yeah,
Yeah.
I actually think he
can,
probably
I
would have
guess.
played more of the right side Rockwood, because I don't see him as like, because our left-sided plays like almost like the sweeper, like the central guy. So I don't think he was actually the profile necessarily that Maresca wanted. Maresca wanted the deep line playmaker centre back almost, and that's how we described it in the press conference. So I'm not worried so much about Gurhey or not Gurhey. I don't think Gurhey would have come back to us as well. We didn't treat him that well. But I just think that we should have got Maresca a centre back in the profile that he wanted. I don't know who that would have been. I'm not the scout. That's where the club's got to do it. But I do think we should have gave Maresca another centre back he wanted rather than.
Yeah, but if we would have got the fact that Maresca wanted, would you have moaned?
No, not at
100%
all.
he would've.
Not at
100%
all.
he would've.
If it's because I know I trust Maresca would want someone good and not
That's
just
my
someone
next-
that
that-
not just
if-
someone that.
If he
Not-
didn't play
not
for, if
someone
he didn't play for Real Madrid or Barcelona, then he would have moaned.
No,
So what-
not at all. Because Javi
So
Simmons
what if-
doesn't play for them, and I wanted him.
So what if,
I
what
want
if,
someone that Maresca wanted.
Javi Simmons came from Barcelona, so that's
what
why.
if, what if
Is it?
the striker that Maresca wanted?
I honestly, stylistically, he seems to be the antithesis of what Maresca plays, but we'll see.
We'll
If he
see.
does, then I'll hold my hands up.
Yeah,
But
no,
stylistically, I think it just looks totally different. I think people
Didn't
thought
we
I was.
work with him at City?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did. He
That
did
go
work
thingy.
with him at City. Yeah, he worked. They worked with him, but he worked with. But he also worked with Kieran Dewsbury Hall at Leicester and didn't use them at all. So like,
I thought that was a decent signing in the end. Dewsbury Hall. I thought he was
He's
a
on fire
great
at
utility player. Yeah. Huh?
He's doing well at Everton.
Yeah, because he's gone to a team where he can just be the man. Like he can just like linking up with Grealish. They just got freedom to play. You put him in a system. He just came in. To me, I thought he'd done a good job at Chelsea. He came in and done his job.
It's not that he was bad per se, but it's just like it doesn't improve the team. That it's a
didn't need
pointless
him.
signing. We didn't need
We
him.
didn't need him.
You might as well.
Yeah, but we
You
need
might as well keep
we
Gallagher.
need him in a Conference League, and I think he done a job in a Conference League for us. The fact that we signed him for a season, he done a job for us in the Conference League, and then we sold him for what we bought him for. I feel like that was a decent bit of business, considering we needed
I do. I thought it was a
It's
good
a nothing
signing,
bit
yeah.
of business, really.
that B team squad last season. In the-
Yeah.
We got
I just
everything we wanted out of him, and we made money on him. Well, you can't go wrong with that.
Mm.
I just think if you're saying you have to make the money from Conor Gallagher, for instance, who I think would actually be more useful for the team than Dewsbury Hall would. Even now, I think his attributes probably suits what we want to do more than Dewsbury Hall. why not just keep Gallagher? Like it's like 40 million given and then taken. You might as well why not just keep Gallagher?
I think
I know
that's
I know there's a pure profit argument to it as well,
I think
but
it's all that.
Yeah, I think that was the case. It was the pure profit
Mm.
side of things.
yeah.
So
But
my
going back
last
to the-
question was going to be, well, I've got two more. The one is going to be, do you think Enzo Maresca got backed? Do you think he's been backed enough?
Yeah, apart from the fact he says he wanted another centre back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you look at that from the board perspective, you go, hold on a minute. I've got X amount of centre backs in the change room there. Work with them.
Yeah,
You know
but
what I mean?
I don't think
like
think
people say, they need to fit Maresca's profile of what he
Yeah.
wants, and he
Of what he
needs
wants.
centre back. And let's be brutally honest, like Badiashile is not going to be the ball playing centre half that's going to split lines. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So unless I think the only way we would have signed another left centre back is if we would have sold Badiashile or Disasi
Or both.
or both.
Yeah.
I'm not sure they have backed him. I think they've done good business in terms of the club's financial objectives. But I don't think they've said this is exactly what Maresca wants and we should back him. But that's fine, because I don't always think you should do that for a manager. I think sometimes you have to look at the bigger picture. It just depends on whether that kind of costs us success in the longer run on the pitch or not.
I don't know, because just quickly, he does say that he's happy with the squad generally, and I don't know if that's smoke screen or whatever. But I think, to be honest, why would he not be happy with the squad? Yes, I think he came out and kind of said he needed a defender, but I think it would have been overkill if we bought another defender without releasing a couple. So I think they've done a decent job backing him, in inverted commas.
So
Yeah.
Gabriel, are you going to put a number on this? Oh, you said a 6, didn't you?
I said a 6.
Is that
The
a solid
six is- the six-
high 6 or a low 6?
It's a low 6. It's only a 6 because of how really how João Pedro has kind of came on leaps and bounds. I don't think it would be lower than that. But actually, the two main things are João Pedro, and although we haven't seen a lot of him, like based on what I've heard,
I think you make a good point, though.
Hato.
I think you make a good point, because if we had had this, if the window had shut like it normally opened and shut when it normally does, we wouldn't have seen João Pedro in the Club World Cup to influence whether we think it's a 7 or a 6. But if you just strip that back and go with who we've signed, you'd look at it and go, well, that's part of the reason why I did it as a 6, because I wasn't impressed with the caliber of players that we were signing going into a Champions League season. There was, with the hoo-ha all behind it, the players that we were linked with, not getting the goalkeeper, not getting the right centre-back, not the left centre-back, the right centre-back for me, was all them reasons why I put it. Like, it weren't going to be a 10 out of 10, so it's never going to be a 10.
Yeah.
It weren't going to be a 9 out of 10, so you're only looking at 8, 7. So when you consider them things, that's why I dropped it down to a 6. But do you think I'm being harsh by giving it a 6 after what we've just considered everything? After everything we've just considered, do you think your 7 is more realistic?
I 100% think 7 is accurate, and I think if we can get rid of Sterling and Disasi, I can give it a 7.5.
See, that's why I give it a 6, because we didn't get rid of Sterling and Disasi.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. It's hard to get rid of Sterling. Like
that one I completely agree with. That we're going to be we're pissed with that one. We're going to keep him.
But guys, are we football fans or are we businessmen?
No,
Does getting rid of Sterling get us any closer to winning the league? It doesn't.
No.
So me, it doesn't impact my rating. You know, if it in terms of balance sheet, sure, it does, but it doesn't impact my rating unless I knew that they were going to.
You've got to look at it as a whole. I do feel like, I know we're football fans and we're Chelsea fans, and Chelsea's progression is key, but I feel like you do have to look at it as a whole, because at the end of the day, getting rid of Sterling frees up a big bank.
Yeah, a big bank that these investment bankers are taking home themselves and not putting into a club. That's the point. That's my point.
How can we say that when every year we're investing 300 million in the transfer market? It's like
and then selling them again for 295.
But we're keeping the players that are in the
keeping. Yeah,
worth
Exactly.
keeping. So although
We
it's
just don't have
that
turnover.
model, we're
What I'm saying
signing
is-
loads of players, but
like, imagine
stars out of them. Eventually, we're going to have 11 players that we just want to keep and go, no, they're good.
Gabriel, say
Yeah,
for
yeah.
argument's sake, yeah, the club's plan. We don't know what the club's plan is yet, but say for argument's sake, every season we keep doing this same thing where we turn a profit, keep turning profit, and we eventually get to a squad where we are completely happy. Plus, we're turning this profit, and then they use that money to build us a new stadium. Would you then be happy with that if that was their long-term plan?
Yeah. But I guess whereas you guys are, where you guys are a little bit optimistic about that, like
stadiums, they don't count towards PSR and things like that.
No, but they don't. They look at it as like a longer term investment, so you can make those one-off investments and kind of thingy. But I don't. I think what we also forget as well, like, is the first billion that they spent, right, was like Roman Abramovich's price was 2.5 billion for the club, but you had to commit to spending $1.5 billion. Yeah. So a lot of the players that they bought are within that, and I think for the most part, I think they've wasted it. We haven't. It's not like we're turning a minor small profit, but we're not. It's not like we're turning a profit good enough to then upgrade the squad. The squad is getting the squad is kind of just getting better. It's going to get better, but it's getting better very incrementally. It's not like they're making fantastic sales and then finding all the best young players and then they're coming in and they're winning us things. It's not working like that as of yet. Maybe it will in due time.
Kind of did last season.
No. Listen, guys, winning the Conference League is not.
We won more than the Conference League last season.
The Club World Cup that we didn't qualify. That, to be fair,
we won it.
The old administration qualified for.
Okay,
but I'm not giving.
Okay, but we won it.
We won it all.
Who cares?
Listen, don't get me. I almost had tears in my eyes when we won the Club World Cup. But it's a one-off tournament. It's not the time.
It's a one-off tournament. It's every 4 years.
No. Yeah, it's just started. It's brand new in format.
We're the first team in history to win it.
Yes, we can say all these things to rival fans, but let's be honest. When Jamie Carragher talks about it and says, actually, it doesn't show that you've made progress towards winning the league, he's right.
Okay, but we're not talking about the league. We're talking about trophies. And we won a trophy.
Okay, so what I'm saying is for me, last year we won a shit trophy that we should never talk about again in the Conference League. Yeah. and a Club World Cup, which was a one-off, which, like I said, the previous administration, which was great.
I don't know what one-off means. What does a one-off? Can you define what you mean by one-off?
It's a great dopamine hit of winning the Club World Cup, but I don't think.
Can I just quickly say something? Yeah, before the final,
yeah,
I was seeing things like, if PSG win this trophy, they will go down as the greatest club side in history because of they've won this trophy. And everyone was hyping everyone hyping PSG up, and everyone was saying about this trophy and whatever else. But the fact that we won it, everyone's played it down.
I think people played down the Club World Cup throughout the tournament. To be fair,
yeah, everyone that was
a lot of the debate.
Everyone that was in it played this. Man City wanted to win it, but Real Madrid wanted to win it. PSG wanted to win it. We wanted to win it, and we won it.
I think the value of a trophy is there is the prize money element, but there is a heritage, and there's no heritage behind the Club World Cup.
Come on, no, watch.
Exactly.
There is no heritage.
That when next 4 years, watch how many of them clubs are desperate.
I'll tell you this: in a few years, maybe in 50, 60 years' time, people will look at the Club World Cup.
That's way too long. Give it the next tournament. Watch how many of them are going to be when they're in it. Like when the likes of Liverpool are in it, and then they'll be bigging it up, going, "Oh, we're in the Club World Cup." When all the little fanboys for Liverpool start bigging it up, then you'll realise how important it is.
I think if you guys watch other sports, I think the Club World Cup is like the equivalent of like the Live Golf tournament, or like the boxing in Saudi Arabia, like the exhibition type things where they put a lot of money behind it, but it actually hasn't got the heritage.
Nothing can have heritage when it's
Yeah,
brand
look,
new.
competition, look at the heritage. Look what's happening on Saturday night. The biggest boxing event ever of our generation, really, or of this current crop of boxers in of this generation. Canelo versus Crawford. That is crazy.
But this, you know what? Canelo versus Crawford is, but actually, I would compare it more to like like Francis Ngannou, whatever. Sorry, I pronounced his name wrong. To Tyson Fury, where actually it's big name, it's a lot of money behind it, but really and truthfully, on sport and merit, people don't hold it in the same category as they do the other thing, and that's the same thing with the Club World Cup.
That's a completely different thing though, because
That's rival fans.
Mixed sport. You're mixing sports with the Ngannou and Tyson Fury thing. They're cool. They had the money to do it, so they done it. They offered Ngannou this big paycheck to fight Fury, to fight AJ, because they classed him as the heaviest puncher ever. So they wanted to see how he would do in a boxing ring. But when you in the grand scheme of things, they've put a lot of the biggest names in football around now in this one competition, and every single one of them clubs wanted to win that competition. And no one rested players. No one was trying to not win this competition. No one was worried about going out. Oh, if we just make 50 million, we're all right and then we'll go out in the group stage. No, City wanted to win it. Real Madrid wanted to win it. PSG wanted to win it. Bayern wanted to win it. And we wanted to win it. And we won it. And this is what I'm saying. And then ever since we've won it, it's been played down. And anyone in that competition has played it down since we've won it. And everyone outside of that competition has been playing it down since this competition.
Yeah,
and just to add to that quickly, remember, why are we in that competition? Why were we in it?
Football,
because we won the Champions League, the pinnacle of all football. So it's got value, bro. So don't disrespect it.
I'm not saying it's valueless.
Okay.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's valueless. What I'm saying is it doesn't have the heritage of the truly big trophies.
Of course it doesn't. It's a brand new trophy. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
It's still iconic.
Put it like this. We used to have a club.
A couple more competitions time, and everyone's desperate to win it.
Yeah,
we're always going to have our name on that trophy first, no matter.
100%. I agree. But and it's great.
Mate, when we won that trophy, I was so buzzing. You can't believe it because we won the set. There's no one is ever going to do it. No team on the planet is ever going to do what we've just done. No team.
But there you go, Case. I hear you. No one's going to do it, but nobody. Real Madrid don't want to win the Conference League.
Yeah, but they wanted to win the Club World Cup. They wanted to win the Club World Cup.
Maybe to a certain extent, not in the same way they want to win the Champions League.
I guarantee you, every single Chelsea fan is in the same boat. We didn't want to be in that competition, but while we're in there, we've got to win it.
Yeah, 100%. And I agree.
I was in the same boat. I said, we need to get top four. We need to win a trophy.
You even went to Poland, didn't it?
Sorry?
Listen. I am a shameless fan. Of course I went. I love the glory. But
I wasn't. When I walked out that stadium when we had won, I was gassed. I was
man. I celebrated that Jackson goal as if it was like the Drogba goal.
That's what I'm saying.
But when the dopamine hit comes down, you come down to reality. I say, okay, it was cool that we won this tournament, but I'm not going to then go and say, okay, Blue Co are doing well, and this is a sign of it. Not at all. We shouldn't even be in it.
Yeah, but we wasn't meant to be in it. I'm not being funny. If Man City beat Man United in that FA Cup final, we wouldn't have been in it.
Yeah, we shouldn't be in it. We shouldn't be proud to West Ham won it the year before. We shouldn't hold our hands against that kind of thing.
We'll talk about the Club World Cup, but anyway, it's still two trophies.
We've all agreed today that they messed up that first season, completely messed it up. Yeah. And they paid for their sins in the second season. And since then, we've made progress quite quickly. It's been 4 years. We're now back into the Champions League. For me, I view this season, I don't expect us to win the league this season. I don't know where I stand with a trophy this season. I'd like to think that, I'm we should be going out and winning a trophy no matter what every single year.
Mhm.
But realistically, I'd be happy if we just beat the points tally that they had when they first come to this club. That was 71 points. If they beat that, that's a sign of progression, because they took the club over on 71 points and we hadn't won the league in God knows how long. Yes, we might have won the Champions League, a year before? Was it when they took over or something like that?
They took over world champions and Champions League winners when they had us, when they took over.
What,
World
Champions League
champions again.
winners? Yeah, so now we're world
Yeah,
champions.
we're world champions again, but way off winning well, I kind of have a sneaky suspicion we might do something in the Champions League, but don't.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
But
After that, we're winning the Champions League, right?
yeah, look, but that's just Chelsea heritage. Nothing to do with them. That's just us.
Oh, yeah.
That's what won us the Club World Cup. It was Chelsea heritage. It wasn't Tom Boney.
That's what won us the Champions League as well.
But really, it is. But like I said, it's not that I'm playing down the Club World Cup. But what I'm saying is, whether we win it or not, I don't think the real sign of progress is whether we're closer to winning the league. And ultimately, at the moment, we're talking about being happy with 70 points and that we're not in the title race this year. For me, it's not good enough that we're not in the title race this year. This is their 4th year. We should be in the title race this year. A solid contender, not just in like we were last year up until December and then fall away. We should be competing this year. £1 billion spent on a team, like I said, just won the Champions League. We should be competing.
I don't agree, because you can't just say because it's 4 years. We just made it clear that they made a few errors in the beginning. So
Yeah.
I would say well, even it's first year of Maresca, so I would say we're 2 years essentially into the project. So in the next 2 years, we should be winning.
I can't lie.
my view.
You guys are sounding real Arsenal right now.
Well, it's the reality of where we're at.
You know what, I was last season I was very keen not to. I was with the standards thing. Don't drop your standards. We must win a trophy. We must compete. Don't settle for top 4 and do this Arsenal project thing where they just love to go into top 4. But we hit my targets. I can't complain. Do you know what I mean? We hit the targets that said hit top 4 and win the trophy.
Youngest squad ever. Difference. No, nobody's done what we're doing. Nobody's
You don't get medals for the youngest club.
You don't get medals for youngest squad. But this is what I was saying. I don't know if he was on at the time when I was talking about this, Gabriel. Every season that these youngsters are playing in the Premier League is effectively half a signing. That was my word that I used. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I get what you're trying to say. Yeah.
So, like, the way I see it is, if in 2 years' time we've not won the league, now I'm sitting here saying, no, something's got to change. Now we're doing Arsenal things.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you would have said that 2 years ago, though. That's what I'm saying. I think we're going to keep on referring it, and like they'll give us.
The model only started really 2 years ago.
I'm not. It
started on the up from. I think it's the model has been in place. This model has been in place for 3 years now.
This will be the third.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this will be the third.
Yeah. And I think what I'm saying, I think by now, I'm not even saying we should win the league, but we should have a squad that we can go and say, you know what, we can win the league. I don't think any of us can say that.
This is what I'm saying, though. Yeah. Last season we competed with Liverpool up until December.
Yeah.
I feel like with this current crop of players that we've got now, we can take that challenge further on into the season.
Yeah, I agree, but I don't. But you wouldn't hang your hat on us winning.
Whether you're happy with that or not, that is progression. Mm-hmm. So next season and the season after that, when these players are now turning 23, 24, 25, and they're hitting the prime of their careers, plus with a few more additions, I'm hoping that in the next couple of years we might slightly alter the model a little bit and try and sign not ready-made as in like 25, 26-year-olds, but maybe 22, 23-year-olds that have now got a bit more experience and they can come straight into this team and make a difference. That's when I'm expecting to win the league. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like,
I get what you're saying. I just think that should
things like that. There has to be progression in that time, and we have to be we have to be competing for the title in that time, or not competing for the title, but making our title challenge a bit better in that time. But I don't want it to get to a case what you're saying where we're like Arsenal when we're thinking, oh well, we challenged this like this year, and yeah, that's okay. No, that's not what I'm trying to say. It has to.
I think
then we have to win the league.
I think I'm totally aligned with you. I just think where we are, where you're saying we should be next year, I think we should be now.
No,
Even with the average age of or average squad age of our players.
Yeah, because I think we actually build a good base with that average age. And then, like you said, go and buy some 22, 23, not like 26, 27.
Yeah.
But go and buy some people who are top of the range within our price range.
Nacho.
No, Nacho is not there. He's not there. He's not there.
Look, he's top 3 young players stats in the world. So that's what's out there.
Ebbs, come on, man.
That's what's out there. That's what's out there, mate. Let's wait and see. Let's reconvene after 10 games. Reconvene after 10 games. See what happens.
Right. Let's see.
Yeah.
Right, guys. I think we're going to call it a day. That's gone on for a while. That's a good discussion. But listen, I'd love to have you all on again at some point if you can make it. Let me just do a couple of these chats, get these up. Thank you, TK. TK, you got a love today. Listen, I didn't put all these comments in. Gabriel, if I was you, I wouldn't go look at the YouTube comments after.
It's all right. I know the Club World Cup gas is killing people. Don't worry. At the end of the season, there'll be comments saying, "Oh,
where do you think we're going to finish, Gabriel?"
I think we'll finish 3rd or 4th.
That's not terrible, is it? Trophy?
See, that is terrible. We're Chelsea Football Club. That's terrible.
No, but when you look at it, then
in the chat the other day, I think we need to come out of this that we're Chelsea Football Club. Of course, we're Chelsea Football Club, and we always want to win. But I feel like with this new model, we just have to bide our time a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
How I look at it is, you look at the teams that are better than us: Liverpool, Arsenal. I think we'll give City a good run. We'll give the rest a good run. Arsenal, I think we're nearly there. I think we're nearly there with Arsenal. I'm not going to lie. Liverpool,
I think we can go toe-to-toe with them. See what happens. I think we'll finish top 3 this
season. Yeah, it is. If we can go toe-to-toe with Arsenal, we can go toe-to-toe with City. Because that game the other day was dog shit last Sunday. Neither team looked like a title-winning team in that game. So maybe the gap's not as... No, maybe Isak might be the game changer, but hopefully he does his ACL or something.
I think he's going to get injured, but yeah, he always gets injured anyway.
Yeah.
No, listen.
I get your point. He gets injured. They got Hugo to come in. You know what I mean? Whereas we've got Mark Gui.
No, we got Delap.
We
don't. He's injured. He's injured. We don't got him.
When he gets injured,
and even so, I'd much rather have Hugo than have Delap. I'm sure we can all agree on that.
I'm not going to go on that straight away.
What? Are you for real?
I've only seen him play 3 games, so I can't.
So you'd prefer to have Delap than Hugo?
I never said that. I just said I'm not preferring to have Ekitike. I've only seen him play 3 matches. So
I'm going to say something.
Oh man,
Ekitike is giving me Martial vibes.
You know what? Clip this.
But I've seen as much as Ekitike scored a few goals. There's something that don't fully convince me that he's an £80 million striker.
You know what? I don't know. Maybe because I saw some of the, I didn't watch him I didn't watch the whole German league, but I watched him in the Europa League last year, and he was giving me baby Isak.
No, he looks good. He looks good, but he's on another level to Delap. Come on, surely you don't see that? Think that. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen him in the Prem. When I see him play 10 games in the Prem, I'll know. But I don't trust all of these leagues that Werner can score 200 goals. You know what I mean? I don't really care about.
Well, he's had a pretty good start to this Prem career as well.
Yeah, and like I said, he's done well so far. But he's playing for Liverpool. You know, let's see what happens.
Delap over Hugo Ekitike.
I never said that, by the way. I never said that. I never said that.
Right, listen, love everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Cheers, bros.
We'll do this again. We'll mess each other in the chat. Gabriel, I get your point about keeping the standards. I get your point, TK, about where we are. Ebbs, I get your point as well. We'll do this again. We'll see where we go. Let's leave it a couple of weeks and we'll come back and see where we are. Maybe we can do a weekly thing. Maybe we can review the matches every week. Let's see how it goes. This has been enjoyable. I've enjoyed this. So
I'm about to get my popcorn and go in the comments.
Don't go in the comments. But listen, everyone, thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Cheers.